agents to help local police stop crime and carjackings. A decision to call up the National Guard could also come later today. The president has already mobilized several federal agencies, including the ATF, DEA, and U.S. Park Police, to participate in these efforts.
Now, also today, the Wall Street Journal reports President Trump will meet with Intel's CEO. The White House visit comes days after a Trump Truth Post called for Lip-Bhutan to resign immediately amid concerns about his ties to China. Friday, there's a Trump-Putin summit in Alaska trying to get Russian leader Vladimir Putin to stop the war in Ukraine.
Vice President Vance said on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures he talked to President Trump, who told him there's no way to know the outcome of these talks.
Maybe this works out, maybe it doesn't, but it's worth the effort. It's worth trying.
The vice president said the goal is to find a settlement the sides can live with in peace.
That's Fox's Gernal Scott. There's a meeting of European foreign ministers today as they insist there's no way to get a peace deal unless Ukraine is part of those Trump-Putin talks Friday. Israel's getting ready to ramp up the war, wanting to next target Gaza City. U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee tells Fox.
The next move really is one that Hamas has to make. They're either going to have to walk away, disarm, and let the hostages go, or they're going to have to face the consequences.
An Israeli strike in Gaza killed several journalists, including a reporter with Al Jazeera. The Israelis claim it was a Hamas commander. Al Jazeera denies it. America's listening to...
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagal, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Boy, that didn't come out well.
Oh, no.
Buddy, it is shaky in here. It is shaky on a Monday.
Ooh, that's a tough start to a week right there.
Little frog jumping out on you. What's he going to do?
Might need the defibrillator around here. Just in case you never know.
Jump start my heart like Nikki Sixx. But we're glad you're here.
Here we go. Yes.
And it just continues to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Anyway, big weekend. Got my son moved into college. We're back to empty nesters. Los had a big weekend. Big victories all around for everybody.
Yeah, 4-0 weekend, but I mean, it's nothing compared to the mini fridge.
Yes, that's right. I had to go pick that thing up.
You know, when you're in that port of life where you have a mini fridge in your home, things are going well.
Yeah. So yours came in, the replacement, everything's all set up?
Everything's good for us.
Yeah.
And then now that Jacob has the mini fridge.
Yes, he is.
Nothing says college like that. It's so much fun.
You're right. I wonder if he'll actually use it. That's the question I have. We bought like Gatorades and waters or whatever to put in there. And we'll see how long it takes to, load up beer. Of course, I expected that'll be at some point that'll happen. But yeah, man, it was a quick turnaround. Just drove over Saturday morning, dropped off the rest of the stuff and got it moved in and had late lunch and then drove back about 2:30.
Did you not like at some point, from talking with the coaching staff and everything else that he has going on, he's now gotten to that point because he's been playing so well where now he's a priority?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's very different. It's a very, very different mentality for sure. And but a blessing that we're certainly we're proud of, and proud everything has turned out the way it has. But we'll see, man. They start practice not this week. Class starts tomorrow or today, and then practice next Monday.
I always remember the misery of August because we would show up on campus.
Oh gosh, Texas August,
workouts outside. if you were not in shape, you were going to be in shape very shortly.
Did they get called out? The kids that weren't in shape, the one that
they would just fall out.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to call them out.
You would just see.
You would just see it.
I mean, you would just see the guys that couldn't handle it, or who spent the summer where they never trained. I was fortunate. My college apartment was down the street from a high school, so I would go out there. I'd drive like the quarter mile, and I would just run on the track.
Yeah.
So by the time I hit August, even though it was still hard, I was used to being out there and training.
Acclimated.
You would see guys just fall out, or some of them would just throw up right on campus. it was bad. It was bad. I was like,
oh, yuck,
gross.
I saw the Kappa Delta sorority at UGA. That's the first thing that popped up in my feed this morning on X. Is the Georgia girls, the UGA girls?
Yeah, they represented the G.
Dude, that thing continues to spiral. I bet I saw it does. I saw University of Tennessee. I saw Alabama. I mean, every sorority is in. They've all
decided, hey, it's Pledge Week, Pledge Month, whatever they've got going on.
Yeah, whatever that is. I don't know.
Let's all do our very best with videos, and it is celebrating in a funny way. Throw it in your face. This is what America is.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Like it or not.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. Just because it is so anti what the last at least 4 years, but if not 20 years.
The left spends so much time basically telling you, be comfortable being ugly.
Yeah.
And these girls are like, no.
We like being very pretty.
Not at all.
And we're going to continue doing it. And we're going to rub it in your face.
We're going to rub it in your face.
And I hope you like it. Because if you don't, you better get used to it. Because it ain't going anywhere. That's that's the greatest thing. And I don't know about you, but I've seen a few more American flags pop up in the neighborhood, like people coming out of their shell.
Well, I mean, you live in Alpharetta.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in far north Cumming. We're already pretty patriotic.
Yep. Alpharetta's 50-50.
Hopefully your area is figuring it out.
I hope so.
I mean, you live 50-50. Amongst the communists.
I know. Well, 50-50 for sure.
Yes.
We half of them for sure, without a doubt. And that's the weirdest and saddest, most annoying thing in the world. I mean, I told you, what was it? It's only been a month ago when I was over at the Sam's Club on Mansell, and the dude pulls up in a bad, amazing, unbelievable, jacked up, new Bronco. Thing was amazing. I was physically walking over to, because he has windows down top, so I was going to be like, dude, this thing is amazing, until I noticed the Hamas flag flying off of the the antenna. I was like, well, I guess
that's a little different.
That's nothing to say to you. I have nothing to say to you.
Yeah, we don't really deal with that in my area.
We were up there dropping off the dog to stay overnight. Went to Peeps' farm, brought back some fresh eggs.
Of course.
So
it would not be a trip up north without seeing.
You got to go see Aunt Peeps. Got to see the goats.
Aunt Peeps, see the goats.
Got new chickens, and man, she's up to like 20 now. I mean,
has the gold mine run ended? Because when eggs were going crazy, like Peeps it was like she was like cocaine rich.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like you'd show up at her house and she was like in gold,
right? And she was like, "Sorry, I got done. I've already sold them." No, it's still going strong. I think people just like fresh eggs. It's like we were talking about buying a side of beef or something. It's fresh, and we tried to do that recently at the farmer's market, and dude was like, "Man, we're booked up through November. Sorry, we'd love to get you one, but can't."
Well, it's nice having a family member that actually produces eggs where you're like, "Oh, look, that's what eggs are supposed to look like."
No doubt about it. Over the weekend, I saw J.D. Vance do something that just kind of put a smile on my face. He was talking about all the Russiagate things that have been discussed, and the fact that he's talking about it makes me know that the day of reckoning for some of these deep staters is coming, and I can't wait to see it.
I absolutely want to see indictments, Maria. Look, of course, you've got to have the law follow the facts here. You don't just indict people to indict people. You indict people because they broke the law. But if you look at what Tulsi and Kash Patel have revealed in the last couple of weeks, I don't know how anybody can look at that and say that there wasn't aggressive violations of the law. What they basically did is they defrauded the American people in order to take Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign talking points and turn them into intelligence by defrauding the American people, defrauding the intelligence agencies, lying about what the intel said. They would take something that supported a Hillary Clinton campaign talking point and they would overemphasize it and exaggerate it. They took anything that actually contradicted that narrative and they buried it deep. And through that, they actually laundered Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign talking points through the American intelligence services. That's a violation of the people's trust. That's a violation of what our intelligence services should be doing, and I absolutely think they broke the law, and you're going to see a lot of people get indicted for that. Here's the thing that should really bother the American people. What do you want our intelligence community to be doing? I want them to be catching bad guys. I want them to be making sure that terrorists aren't going to kill innocent American civilians. I don't want them laundering Hillary Clinton's campaign talking points into the American media and giving them this air of legitimacy. It is sick. And it's disgusting. It hurt the intelligence community. It hurt the American people. And it hurt the first Trump administration. We've got to have consequences for it, or we're just going to see the same play repeated again and after again.
Dude, I love it. We got to see consequences. And that's right, because if you don't, that's going to happen again. They're going to recreate. Anything you don't stop them from doing, they'll recreate. The only thing he said is, I want to see our intel community catching bad guys. These are bad guys. You know what I mean? I know what he's saying. He's saying, foreign actors, people that are coming. We have bad guys in our government. We got to catch them too, which I know he believes, but that's the only thing that made me go, whoa, whoa, whoa. They are bad guys.
Clearly, J.D. Vance does the Sunday morning to explain to the country, here's what's going on. And I think a part of me says that he gets a little in the weeds when he starts explaining what he wants. He could have ended everything with just the simple fact that the previous administration, during, obviously when Donald Trump was in office, the previous administration was running with a narrative that was they paid for political opposition. Like, let's say, for instance, if I paid somebody to say that Tug was somebody who beat his dog, and then I went to the police with it, I took something that was fictitious and then turned it into a weapon.
Yeah.
And that, I think, was like the part where it's like, you cannot say this enough. They paid for political opposition. They paid for something that was a narrative, and then they took it over to the administration all the way up to the president and said, now make this official so that we can turn this into a weapon.
First time in American history anything like that we know of has ever happened, at least on that scale.
I paid for a narrative and then took it to weaponize it.
When it went from a candidate who's running for office, running for the presidency, and ran it all the way, like you're saying, to the current president, and everybody in that chain of command had to be like, yeah, we're on board.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's the part where J.D. Vance, when he said that yesterday, because I was watching a portion of that live, and when he said that, I was like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
I was like, just explain that to the people, the fact that they took something that was meant to be a political smear and said, well, how do we take this up a notch?
Yeah, let's just like Emerald back in the day. Bam.
Let's weaponize it.
Yeah, let's
take it to the CIA and the FBI and turn it into reality.
It's unreal that it happened, and it happened in all of our lifetimes. The most corruption that you've ever seen on an American politician, on an American president, on the American people, on you. You're still dealing with this to this day because there's still wackos that believe Donald Trump's a Russian agent. I hear there's going to be protests. Now, I'm sure they're bought and paid for, but there's supposed to be protests in Friday in Anchorage when Trump sits down with Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, good luck with that. There'll be like 8 people.
I know.
Now that we're no longer paying for this stuff, there's like 8 to 10 people at every one of these things.
Unless the Democrat Party do buy a crowd, the rent a crowd.
Well, they'll have to put it on a credit card.
Yeah, I know.
They ain't got any money.
They ain't got no money to
get it done. Wonderful.
No, it is. It's fun to see.
And now they're spinning so hard. They're so upset. Like, what are we going to do? What should we do? How are we going to fight? You can't.
Your fight
you don't have my money anymore.
Your fight is over.
What are you going to do now? Why don't you go raise some money? I tell you what, why don't you go around to every one of your donors and go see if they'll give you some money? They won't, because your numbers are in the crapper.
Useless.
So then why don't you call up the people that are basically backing you? Oh, I forgot, they're illegals. They send their money elsewhere.
Yeah, it's called remittances, I believe.
Exactly. Good luck.
Yeah, there's nothing. I'd like to see I'd like to see a wave go across America of people waking up, and there's been that. Certainly, Donald Trump being elected was that partially people just waking up and an actual red wave happen across the United States of America, but in California specifically, because it was way back when Ronald Reagan, one of the greatest presidents we've ever had, made the mistake of turning California over to the Democrats. Could that change? Could that be reversed? What about turning California red?
That's the discussion point. That's the idea, that you're going to have a situation when you look at the numbers. And again, these are estimates since 1996. The numbers say that California has benefited off of counting two different things: inactive voters and illegals. If we legitimately get a new census, and you have now, the estimate is 3.1 million voters that were Democrat voters that have left the state of California. They just said, we're done with this. I'm not going to deal with it. There's a legitimate chance where this place now turns into a purple state, where it is no longer the situation where Ronald Reagan said, okay, we'll grant some amnesty and we'll allow this. And what it turned into is it just turned into a purely blue state.
Yeah.
If the numbers are correct, then suddenly it's in play. That changes everything.
Dude, that would be monumental.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about an earthquake. That would cause a political earthquake like we haven't seen in 50 years.
It's still wild. We talked about some of the numbers when it comes to the amount of illegals that are in California. And the estimate when it came to the Los Angeles area was 1 out of 10. Based on the fact that the streets are now wide open, there's no traffic. You know,
hospitals got no.
Hospitals have no one that's sitting in the ER. The estimate is maybe more 1 in 3.
Jeez, man.
1 in 3 people were just like, hey, it belongs to me anyway.
Yeah, I'm taking it over. It's mine. I would love to see the day, because it's never been in my lifetime that California's ever been in play. If California becomes in play, and then what happens? In other states that have always been historically red, is there something else, because you have to imagine New York and Illinois have the same kind of numbers with illegals there. It's where they all were shipped to.
All right, I'm looking at the clock. It's 6:18 in the morning. All right, so this is your first big poignant moment. This country is really 60-40, 70-30.
I believe that. I've always believed that. Just by
60-40, 70-30.
sheer living.
That is what it is.
I've always believed it.
The Democrats have had to pull out every single stop to try and make it 50-50. And then when they get into power, they gerrymander and they get your tax dollars and they make it look like they're bigger than what they are. They are the epitome of the blowfish. They ain't big. They just blow themselves up to make them look big.
They look big, yeah. And they're intimidating that way. But I'm looking at a
poison.
map. What is it?
Full of poison.
Full of poison. Yes, the Democrats are full of that too. But just looking at this California map, the way that they expect that it could turn out, and how it's just basically on the coast that's blue.
Yep.
Everything north and through the center of the state is red, and there's one. I'm not well versed on California, but there's one right there about dead center. I would assume that's probably Sacramento or somewhere. How California looks completely different.
It's red.
It's completely red.
It's red outside, as you said, the coast.
Dude, 3/4 red.
Yeah.
Which was back to your 70-30. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that map looked
most
just that
all
way,
of these states.
Yeah.
At the very worst, where Republicans happen to be a minority, they're still 40-45% in most states.
Yeah.
The New England area, okay, it might be 35-38. But outside of that, around the country, you are the majority.
Yeah.
They're the minority of thought.
And the crazy thing is you've always been. You've always been. They just were able to handle the megaphone a little better than you. Then they had the money backing up the megaphone. This is the Morning Extra at Extra 106.3, 6 o'clock hours, brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we come back, Scott Jennings makes redistricting fun on Extra.
The Morning Extra has you covered until 10 a.m. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, and Buck Sexton at noon, and the Kimmer Show taking over at 3, only on Extra 106.3.
Walked out this morning, couldn't tell what was going on. It was raining sideways at the house, and you leave that comfort zone. You don't know what the weather's going to be like outside. Is it going to be a cold rain? Is it going to be a warm rain? I got a jacket with me, but I'm wearing short sleeves, so I was trying to prepare. Inside my house, it was the perfect temperature because of central heating and air conditioning. I've been working with those guys for years. Chuck and his team do whatever it takes to make sure that your home is your sanctuary. Your home is as comfortable as you want it to be. Now, me and my wife do go back and forth a little bit over the thermostat. Maybe you do that too in your house. But whatever you decide on, central heating and air conditioning will make a reality. They can do maintenance on your HVAC to make sure it lasts, just like you do maintenance on your car to make sure it lasts. Or if you have a repair that needs to be done, they work on any model, not just Carrier, even though they are your Atlanta Carrier experts. But if you do need that new Carrier system, they can put that in too. They do splendid work, and the beauty is when you call 770-GET-HEAT, you will speak to someone. You will not get press 1 for nothing, press 2 for anything. You're going to talk to a real person at 770-GET-HEAT or by going to centralheat.com.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. That is, until they meet the Warrior Alliance. The Warrior Alliance goes the extra mile to reach veterans in their communities so they do not have to take this journey alone. With over 40 partners across 10 service areas, your donation goes a long way toward achieving maximum impact for a veteran and their family. Go to thewarrioralliance.org to donate today and commit to helping the Warrior Alliance change thousands of lives for the better.
There's a tidal wave of clean car happiness sweeping across Braves country. Tidal Wave Auto Spa is your go-to car wash destination for a game day ready ride. Experience Major League Clean at Tidal Wave, the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves. Stay clean car happy all season long with membership discounts, exclusive giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutospa.com/Braves for details.
My car is happy. I am happy. Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Don't miss a very special Atlanta Braves Alumni Night on August 22nd when the Braves celebrate the 30th anniversary of the 1995 World Series team with a pregame parade through the Battery Atlanta, featuring fan favorites from that team like Greg Maddux, Fred McGriff, Javi Lopez, and more. Plus, the first 15,000 fans will receive a 95 World Series replica ring giveaway presented by Coke. Visit Braves.com/promos to get your tickets. Atlanta Braves Baseball, we are Braves country.
You protect your physical health by choosing your doctors carefully. Protect your financial health by choosing an attorney carefully. An accident can be very costly. You want to receive the compensation you deserve. Call Van Sant Law. My friend David Van Sant will take care of you, trust me, very well. The number is 855-GA-INJURY. The website is vansantlaw.com. In the event of an accident, it could be the most important phone call you make.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We have become a highly sought-after turf installation company in the Atlanta and North Georgia luxury residential market. Big reason for that is our installers are ATL Turf Co. employees. We do not outsource labor. They are trained to be experts in the turf installation process, drainage, grading. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Hey, Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. I have a question for you. Am I the only person pissed off with the mainstream fake news, liberal judges,
and whiny liberal politicians
who don't realize why Donald Trump is president, and fake safes? And you may wonder, why fake safes? Well, a fake safe is like Joe Biden, cheap and ineffective. A real safe from Atlanta Safe House is like Donald Trump, tough, effective, and provides peace of mind when you need it the most. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and see what a real safe looks like. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Monday, August 11th. Memorials continue for DeKalb County Police Officer David Rose after he was killed in the line of duty Friday during a shooting at the Center for Disease Control. Officials say Rose was new to the department and accepted high honors at his graduation. Rose was a father, husband, and Marine before serving as a police officer. The suspect was found dead at the scene. The investigation is still underway. Paulding County Police seized over $25,000 worth of drugs, including meth, magic mushrooms, and THC cartridges over the weekend. 6 people were arrested and a vehicle was seized. Police say they followed a community tip to make the bust. Brookhaven residents had a rude awakening Saturday morning as a small prop plane crashed into the front yard of a home. The plane was registered to a flight training school out of Peachtree DeKalb Airport. 3 people were rushed to the hospital. And Marietta City schools are showing some positive signs with literacy rates increasing in the district. Grades 3 through 8 showed an 11% increase in literacy over the past 3 years. School officials say that's due to increased staff, small class sizes, and focused tutoring for students who are behind in reading. Today's weather, showers with temperatures in the high 70s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
So Scott Jennings is the shining star at CNN, a network that not many people watch. And he just absolutely kicks the daylights out of the Democrats on redistricting. If it's, rigging the election in Texas, isn't it also rigging the election in blue states? Or does that only apply to Republicans?
If it's rigging the election, that's your words, in Texas, is it going to be rigging the election when all these Democrats who say they're going to gerrymander in the other state, are you also going to argue that they're rigging the election or just in Texas?
Yes,
and have the elections been rigged in Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, New Mexico, Hawaii, Oregon, Washington, and Rhode Island? Have they been rigged there as well? Because there, the proportion of Republican vote comes nowhere near what they have in Congress.
They did a normal redistricting process. If states end up going, if states end up going and calling special sessions and doing all of these things to try to gain seats, I agree. I don't agree with that. Do I think they need to do it? Absolutely, because if Republicans aren't going to play fair, then Democrats aren't going to play fair.
This is the ultimate. Well, we've not done that. We play by the rules. I heard so many Democrats yesterday on mainstream media where they just couldn't wait to tell you how Democrats always play by the rules, and it's those dastardly Republicans that are breaking the rules, and they feel like they have to go and fight fire with fire. They have to take a knife to a knife fight.
All right, you want the simple response? That's fine, don't care. Oh, you think I'm cheating? Okay, yes, I'm cheating. That's fine. I tell you what you need to do is you need to go back to Illinois or California, wherever else you choose to, and cheat harder. What you're going to find is you already did.
Yeah, there's no room left.
There's nowhere to go. They know that, dude. It's a scenario where you've already lost the fight once this occurs. You know what's going to happen. And your only response is, well, y'all can't do that. Well, we're going to. Well, that's cheating. Yes, that's fine. Well, we are going to do it too. Okay, go for it.
It's time.
Nothing will happen.
It's time.
Nothing will change. We have them on the ropes. This is the reason why. And I was seeing this as part of the James Carville stuff. When he started talking about trying to win as much as they can in 2028 because they need to add Puerto Rico and D.C. as states.
Dude.
That's how desperate they are. That's where they know the problem. They're actually trying to change the election map in that regard because they know they can't win with this current one. And they know this is basically check. Checkmate's coming. Check has been called on the board. They know we're in trouble. We're about to go down. That's the scenario. That's why they're talking about some of this crazy stuff. And that's why they have no response on CNN when you say, oh, is that cheating? We'll do it too. Okay, go for it. Have at it.
You've already done it.
It's already been done.
404-741-1230. Liberal John has an opinion on the redistricting. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's cheating. I don't care who's doing it. I think it is rigging the election. I don't care if it's left, right, red, blue. And I think something should be done to stop it as soon as possible.
Well, John, it's strictly up to the states and their discretion. That's why the states run the elections.
It might be, but I still say it's cheating. It's just wrong. And that's why they're doing it.
Well, cheating John, cheating in what way? Like in the state of Texas, what has gone on, and here's what's not talked about. They're redistricting that's actually creating larger Hispanic districts. The problem is, for the left, and what's not being talked about, and probably has never even been said to you, these districts, as Hispanics, as people that traditionally vote Democrat, voted hard for Donald Trump. Are they not supposed to secure representation based on their community, which is largely Hispanic?
They absolutely should be able to secure that, but I think that it just comes to a point to where when the left does it, I think it's cheating as well.
No, right. So you're saying
same way that they were called out in, I think it was Illinois the other night.
That's right. Princeton says
theirs is ridiculous. Theirs is very silly.
Right. So I just think it's cheating.
No, I see what you're saying, but that's the thing.
Thank you for the call, John. And yes,
no one ever brought it up, though. That's the problem. No one ever said it was cheating until now. Now, all of a sudden, it is.
It took Texas to redraw districts. And here's where I say that we're talking about it being large Hispanic communities. They're not drawing it according to demographics, which is actually in line with the Voting Act of 1967. They're not supposed to draw lines in these districts based on race. Yet, that has been a Democrat practice. Now, as you point out, when we start saying, why don't we do this in Florida? Why don't we do this in South Carolina? Why don't we do this in Texas? Why is it available in all of these states? Because it hadn't been done. Whereas it's been done in all of these other Democrat states. If they have done it and we want to call it cheating, okay, then fine, let's call it cheating. But you don't get to cheat, and then the other side doesn't get a response. It's almost like I get to punch you in the face and say the fight is over.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you've not seen any Republicans have any conservatives, any red state politicians. You've not seen a reaction from them because they already know. There's like, it's fine. Do whatever you feel like you need to do because you've already done it. That's why there's been zero reaction.
They're like, have at it.
There's no one getting in front of cameras going, I can't believe that they're doing this in Illinois and California, and because it's already been done to the gills.
And the issue you have in Texas, why Jasmine Crockett knows she's going to lose. Her district is largely drawn, if you look at Texas 30, it's South Dallas. South Dallas, when it comes to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, is the largest black community that you're going to find in the Metroplex. The new district, which no longer she is in, the new Texas 30, includes large amounts of the northern part of Dallas to include the southern part. That actually throws the numbers back into it's now an even group of people. And she knows unless I have this large of a black community district, I won't win. But you're incorporating now large amounts of white and Hispanic communities in that group. She's going to have to win them both, and most of them voted for Trump. That's why she's upset. This is not, if you want to talk about like whether it's fair or it's cheating, how is it cheating to redraw districts that include larger amounts of people that are actually does not have a particular
race favor
to any of it?
Yeah, there is no. You can't say anything. And that's why I'm proud of the Republicans not taking the bait. Because typically, it just seems like they'll be like out in front of the cameras and their focus is in the right place finally. After all these years, they're finally focused on winning and doing what's best for the country.
It's not just right leadership, because Donald Trump has been trying to point this direction for a while. It's now a coming of age of Gen X that's in charge of this. I'm telling you, when you look back at 2016, most of us were sitting right around 33, 34. Maybe we'd gotten a little bit political. None of us had any sort of clout, and certainly none of us were holding political office because, in fact, by law, most of us couldn't hold high-end political office. Well, that's different now.
Yeah, it is.
8 years later, that's different now. And so it's all these 42, 43, 44-year-olds that are cooking your goose, man. This is great.
They've seen it over and over and over again. They've seen Republicans lay down and conservatives lay down and roll over because most of them, maybe they went to D.C. with the right intention. They get there, they get swallowed up by the machine because it is a machine. And there's so many Republicans that are just as filthy, stinky, dirty as the Democrats. They work hand in hand together. This new generation, this new right, as Los calls it, they are blowing it. I mean, like Wile E. Coyote, blowing it up. And things are changing.
Consider how often,
for the better.
Legally, you got to be 30 years old to be a senator. How many 32-year-old senators do you see? Just doesn't happen.
Yeah, fair.
Like most of the time, the voters, especially because the older generation does look to have some people that have a little bit of maturity to them, are not going to vote for a 30-year-old. Now we've got all of our leadership basically into their early 40s, mid-40s. This is the spot.
Life
experience. This is the spot. This is where we're supposed to be at.
Because we've talked about it a million times.
And by the way, all understanding the new right. It's not just Donald Trump. He just showed you how to fight these people.
And I don't even think they know that they're labeled that.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's me. I've been on this for 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. But I don't think they realize yet that that's an actual thing. Like, these are just people doing what they've seen that is effective and works. Now we've kind of put a label on them, and it works every time. They fall into that mold of, hey, we're going to shake this up. We're going to be the disruptor.
They reject the premise off the bat. I think that's one thing that I find really fun about Stephen Miller is when a reporter, somebody gives him a question in which they create the premise, he's like, hell no. Like, that's not happening. And for years, Republicans would take questions or have discussions based off of whatever premise you set. So you can set whatever crazy premise you want.
Russiagate is the example.
It's like, well, we're going to have to argue under this.
Yeah.
This is something that people who have grown up following politics and who are now into their 40s and who now find themselves in places of power and influence know right off top of the bat. As soon as you start getting a question or you read an article, know that they're setting the premise. That means they're creating the battlefield and they've got the high ground no matter what.
And Stephen Miller punts them like the NFL as it
Rubio's
starts.
doing it. DeSantis is doing it.
But nobody
Trump does it.
Nobody does it like Stephen Miller.
J.D. Vance handles, yeah.
Absolutely. J.D. Vance is funny. Remember when...
I mean, Besant, the funny part about the Treasury Secretary when he was on Face the Nation, he's like, listen, you've been saying this since March. Maybe you should leave this up to the experts.
If you don't mind.
Baby girl.
Yeah.
It's the only thing he didn't do.
Pat on the head.
Yeah, which, I mean, can't be sexist, right? Because he's a gay man. Yeah. See how this deflector shield works?
Exactly
He can call them all baby girl. It's going to be great. God, it's so much fun winning right now.
Playing a different game. He's just playing a different game altogether.
Like, okay, what am I going to say to this guy? When it comes to J.D. Vance, I'll be Sonny Hoskins. I'll call him racist. All right, he's got an Indian wife. Damn it! All right, well, he's born with a silver spoon. It's like Mitt Romney. No, he wasn't. Mom was all on drugs. Damn it!
He's been in recovery now, celebrating 10 years.
It's like, what exactly do I do here? He's fat and unattractive. The gays love him. Damn it! Which one works here?
They love, dude. That's the funny thing.
Yes, he is. Gay Twitter loves JD Vance,
and it's so funny to see them respond to it when they're like, "I don't want to like him,
but I like him,
but he's so damn good looking." You know,
hilarious.
It is. It's so funny, but it creates this new dynamic that we've never had the privilege of seeing before.
It's a lot of fun.
It is, man. I love it.
It's a lot of fun right now.
I feel like we need to get into this a little bit because I really don't know where.
You want me to try?
Yes, because I'm not sure.
All right. So Neil deGrasse Tyson was on with CBS, and he's the noted astronomy expert, astrophysicist, brilliant guy. Neil deGrasse Tyson got really caught up in the Me Too movement.
I remember that.
Some of the things that he was accused of, and a lot of people were accused of some stuff during that time period, and oftentimes it was, you don't even need proof, just believe every woman. Okay. Have dudes acted inappropriately? Hell yeah. Would I like a little bit more proof? I would like that too.
But it goes.
But at the time, it was just you got caught up in it. And so people on the left, like Tyson, would immediately have to bend the knee and go along with anything. That was how you avoided it. You had somebody who was saying something about you, you like bend the knee, go with anything. It's why he went so hard with COVID. So he's on CBS. And they start talking about the idea of colonization of the moon. And the host goes down a certain road. What I'm going to tell you is this. Neil deGrasse Tyson tries to keep from rolling his eyes.
Yeah.
And he barely is able to keep it from happening. He starts to nervous laugh because here's the moment where he's supposed to go, you sir are an idiot. Like, this is a dumb thing for you to bring up when it comes to colonization of the moon. And he just kind of bites his tongue and plays along with it. Take a listen to what the media is concerned with when it comes to us visiting other worlds.
But if we want to keep growing a population, or if we want to live forever, all right, we're going to need another planet.
So is that the moon? Because I
don't want to live on the moon.
Right? Will it serve as a functional life source eventually for human beings? And B, we know how the age of colonialism worked on this planet. Should we be trying to colonize and saying that there's a keep-out zone that not other countries can participate in having?
Well, the real problem with the colonization history in Western civilization is that there were people already there. Right? There are no moon beings that were displaced.
As far as we know.
As far as we know.
His face, like, seriously, you're bringing up colonization on a place that doesn't have any life.
Dude, the ignorance of all of it. And then the fact that they zeroed in and said, well, it's just Western civilization that struggles with this. That's on top of the fact that nobody lives on the moon. They just pin it to it's Europe and the United States. Those are the only ones guilty of colonization, and everybody else is as clean as wind-driven snow.
When we go to Mars, eventually down the road, hopefully in our lifetime, we'll see Mars. Maybe.
You think so?
There's we have.
We can't get back to the moon, man.
Have we been?
Well, see, there's either way.
I'm sorry, Glenn Beck. I think it's a legitimate question.
Either way, whether we've never been or we're going back, we've not done it.
I don't know if Glenn Beck is aware that there's a radiation belt that surrounds the planet that we don't seem to be able to get away from, but we were able to do it in the 1960s, and we've never done it going back, and we don't have any information on how we did it, and we destroyed all those records. Okay, now I'm getting into tinfoil hat range. I'm just saying, I think we went.
Me too.
I just think that we also made sure that we filmed what we filmed
to make sure
it look like the way it did.
Right. Which I think is the most logical hypothesis. I really do.
Occam's razor. The most likely answer is probably the best one. But with that being pointed out, when we go to Mars and we figure out the propulsion issue and the belt that we got to get through that's giant amounts of radiation, it looks like it would melt everything and kill every human. Once we figure that out, I don't think when we land, anyone's going to go, so Sharia law or what?
Yeah, let's get started with that right away. Insanity. All of it's insane.
Did y'all bring your burqas?
Yeah, that's right. And you better be covered up.
It better be none of you in swimsuits around here, those bikinis.
That's right. We will have none of that. That's only Western civilizations, those devils that you continue to see on social media doing dances and things at every university in America. Anyway, Letitia James is fried. She's so cooked. And it couldn't happen to a more deserving person. Next on Extra.
The Morning Extra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM.
Good morning, it's Los. Let's talk about Tom, the honest car guy. HonestCarGuy.com. That's HonestCarGuy.com. Okay, so how does this process work with Tom? It's incredibly simple. You just decide on the make and model of the vehicle that you want. That's it. That's all. You present that to Tom and say, Tom, this is what I'm looking for. That's when the honest car guy gets cranking. He's going to use all of his resources to find that vehicle anywhere in the country for you. And then he's going to negotiate the deal to make sure that you know exactly what the price of that vehicle is going to be. What you're going to find out is that when you do not use a dealership, you're going to save thousands of dollars. Let's face it, nobody wants to spend 6 hours haggling over the price of their next vehicle. Tom's able to save you that amount of time. Again, honestcarguy.com or go over to 844-SHOW-ME-1. Again, all you got to do is come up with the make and model, and Tom will start working it from there. You end up paying what he's going to pay for that vehicle plus the Honest Car Guy fee. That's it. That's the model. That's all there is to it. honestcarguy.com, 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, August 11th. The Atlanta Braves end up taking 4 of 5 from the Miami Marlins and have now won 3 straight after a 7-1 victory yesterday afternoon. The Braves are off today before beginning a 6-game road trip, starting with a 3-game series in New York against the Mets beginning tomorrow. From the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons, they're back in action at training camp as of this morning, as the workouts are now back open and ready for the public over at Flowery Branch. Training camp practice today begins at 9:30 in the morning. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Back to school means back to traffic in Atlanta. If traffic mishaps land you in trouble with the law, it's important to know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. We handle bonds from local to federal for any jail in any city. And in most cases, we can have you or your loved one out in a matter of hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT. Or online at atlbail.com.
Modular and offsite construction is booming. If you're an architect, building engineer, supplier, developer, or contractor, you can't miss the Offsite Construction Summit, returning to the International Convention Center in Atlanta on August 19th. With the rising cost of traditional building, modular and offsite construction is changing the way that companies build. It's quicker, cheaper, and offers a faster ROI. So don't miss the Offsite Construction Summit, coming to the International Convention Center in Atlanta on August 19th. This is your opportunity to learn from and connect with the industry's best. Register today at offsiteconstructionnetwork.com. That's offsiteconstructionnetwork.com.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. And see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
It's August 11th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is Play in the Sand Day. Go ahead, be a kid, build a sandcastle on the beach. In 1984, President Ronald Reagan jokes about bombing Russia while testing a microphone before a scheduled radio address.
I've signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes.
Also on this day, in 1965, the Watts Rebellion begins in the predominantly black neighborhood in Los Angeles, following what spectators thought was another incident of racially motivated abuse by police. Born on this day in 1983, Australian actor Chris Hemsworth of Thor fame.
Loki is beyond reason, but he is of Asgard, and he is my brother.
He killed 80 people in 2 days.
He's adopted.
Fox News personality Tommy Lauren, born in 1992. I'm CJ Papa, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Your favorite Extra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Extra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Extra YouTube channel and get the Morning Extra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. When you hear the name Letitia James, you're probably thinking, oh, that's the one in New York. It was just stacking up these bogus charges against Donald Trump.
She campaigned to get Trump.
That's right. That was her message. I mean, you can go back and pull the video. She was like, yes, if you elect me, I'm going to get him. And now the tables have turned.
Boy,
mightily.
Have they.
Mightily.
I think this is really genius, the amount of information, because we understood that Letitia James is being looked at for mortgage fraud. And we knew of a couple residents that were out of the state of New York where she had made the point that those were her primary residents, and then they weren't. And we had heard, well, there was another residence that she signed on with her father and pretended that that was her husband.
Weird.
And so here's what the numbers were. What I didn't realize is that there were additional properties. There were additional properties. If you want to talk about the Brooklyn end of this, the Virginia end of this, she has a multitude of it, and none of them did she ever add to her disclosure as far as somebody who was running for office. This woman is cooked.
It seems
She's
problematic.
done. It's over with. This is like open and shut. Like this could, I'm total novice at this stuff. I could prove this case in court.
Yeah, they're like,
is this your signature, ma'am? Okay, here we go.
This is my lawyer, front office Los. He's here. This is the prosecutor, FOL. He's laying it down. But, for me, and I think most Americans who probably don't know all the places that she had in Virginia and in New York and all the things that she was doing, like most people don't know that. They just know, they've heard just the nugget, hey, that she's been accused of doing what she blamed Donald Trump for doing. So when people are able to actually see it, and it's posted on X, you can find it there. I mean, it is a detailed list, and I mean, it's a list as long as like the long yellow legal pads, it would fill up one of those.
First off, if you come at the king, you best not miss.
That's right, Ben Ingram.
You also better be clean.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And she's not.
And she's not even close.
And she missed on both. She missed, and then she missed.
She's not even close on some of this stuff. Yeah. Again, she signed paperwork. For lack of a better term, she's promising, she's testifying that this is my primary residence. Yet, with the homes in Virginia, there are people that are renting them, and they're like, I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, right.
It's like we had news reporters months ago that went to Virginia.
Knocked on the doors.
Like, hey, is Letitia here?
Who?
Oh.
It was a lady with like 3 kids or something that opened the door. And then, like you said, she signed her name in proof, saying that she had, is all this is
and
true.
She tried to say that Donald Trump overinflated his value when it came to real estate.
Dude, but the weirdest thing, let's say you could pull off all of it, right? You're comfortable with breaking all those laws. The weirdest thing is when she said her dad was her husband. Dude, that's just so gross. Just the fact that you would have to be like, hey, Dad, you're my husband. How weird is that, dude? That is the grossest of all of it. As bad as everything else is, and that's a long list, that's the one that sticks out to me as the most sinister, gross, yuck.
So I have never committed mortgage fraud.
You should try.
Despite the amount I probably should. Despite the amount of properties I've owned and then used as rental and everything else over the years. Because when you sit there in that office and you sign the paperwork
with the lawyer,
that person is there tracking to make sure that what you're saying, if you lie about it, you're prosecutable. It's hilarious to think that somebody like Letitia James would run for office, would go after the biggest man in politics, would have flimsy charges, and yet she has something this sloppy, including her father as her husband.
Oh, yuck.
Like, do you not think at some point you have to have an incredible amount of audacity to believe you can go chase down Donald Trump and this part of your life that you know about will never come to light, or you'll be protected from it.
Or that's where it is, right? When they got her to run, or when they got to her and said, hey, run on this because this is what we're going to do. We're going after Donald Trump, but guess what? It is going to make your career
it's a slam dunk.
Oh, dude, it's
not a problem.
You gonna run for governor? You're going to be so filthy rich, and your cup is going to runneth over with power.
Okay, so you're that person who's trying to sell me. I'm going to play the role of Letitia James.
All right. So what we're going to do is we have this complete scheme laid out.
I have a problem.
What is it?
I have property that I own, and I'm not the primary resident of, and my father is listed as my husband.
Well, that's weird. Hey, don't mind all that. Don't mind all that. We got this scheme. It'll never come to light.
You're going to get him, though.
You're going to get him.
You're going to get him, though.
And nobody will see that. You're just going to get him, and then you're going to be governor. It's going to be great. You said you put your dad as your husband? That's weird. You can't miss it, man.
You got to cycle back around to it.
Come again.
No, everything's going to be okay. Did you seriously? What the hell?
Of all things you could have said, that's weird. You are freaking Fruit Loop, but we need you, so here's the plan.
What a wild amount of mortgage fraud. And again, she didn't do this on just one property. She did this on a multitude of properties in a multitude of states.
I know, right?
Like you committed mortgage fraud across a multitude of states.
Yeah. That is a enterprise. If I've ever seen a criminal enterprise, when you're in multiple states breaking the law, that's ballsy. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. You felt so comfortable, and they told you that this was open and shut. Donald Trump was cooked, and you were going to be the person that stood in the middle of the ring, and they were going to raise your arm because you defeated Hitler. You defeated him. And now it's everything but that. And all those people that encouraged her and put all this into motion, because she didn't put all this into motion. She's guilty of it. of everything she's accused of, but she didn't put everything into motion. She just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Well, you're going to get her and Senator Adam Schiff because this is not difficult to have to prove. In fact, what do the federal prosecutors have right now? They have a written confession because they have the documents. That's a confession. Yeah. I mean, here's what it is. You have a written confession. You have government witnesses because you had somebody
those lawyers in the room
that represented the state or the bank. Here's what it was. You have a 40-year period of her doing this. It wasn't new.
Yeah, it wasn't one time.
She did it for 40 years.
Because look, if you scammed it one time, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but you might be able to be like, I made a mistake.
Oops.
Yeah, oops, accidental. I didn't mean to do that. But 40 years worth? It's hard to give an oopsie alibi.
The primary residence my wife and I bought like in 2004. We then used it as a rental property once we moved out and kind of went on our business. But we were never buying that with the intention of, it'll strictly be a rental property. It was our primary residence. And it was there for 5 years. So there are certain things that you do to make sure you're legally compliant. Letitia James had no interest in being legally compliant. All she was and all she is. She's just a common street criminal.
Fraud.
Who happened to get to the point she did.
Yeah.
Common street criminal.
And now will pay like a common street criminal should. When we come back on Extra 106.3, when you hear Democrats and the word Democrat, like the name Democrat, what do you think? The brand is in big trouble if you think like most people. Next on Extra.
Neil Boyce is only live on Extra 106.3, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the Extra 106.3 app.
Looking for the perfect car, truck, or SUV? Jim Ellis Buick GMC has you covered. With a huge selection of new and used vehicles, finding the right fit is easy.
Whether it's a Buick Enclave or Envision, a GMC Acadia or Yukon, or the power of the Sierra and Canyon trucks, and the best part, you're never alone in the process.
Their expert sales team helps match you with the right vehicle, while their finance specialists make buying simple and stress-free.
With decades of experience, Jim Ellis Buick GMC understands the importance of offering an expansive inventory that fits every driving performance, style, and budget need. Plus, every new Buick and GMC comes with cutting-edge technology, premium comfort, and advanced safety features so you can drive with confidence.
Already a Buick or GMC owner? Well, keep it running like new with their state-of-the-art service center staffed by factory-trained technicians who know your vehicle inside and out. Start your search at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person in Chamblee off Peachtree Boulevard, inside the Perimeter, or in Beaufort off Highway 20 near 985. Jim Ellis, Buick GMC, we are professional grade.
Being in control of your retirement, it's something that comes with proper retirement planning. Craig Chandler knows that. So does Coach Pete. Coach, I love when you talk about being in control of your retirement.
Yeah, it's such a great feeling when you are in financial, mental, physical control. It all works together. It's like that little checklist they go through when you used to watch the rocket ship. They were going checklist before they launch. Make sure the physical is right. Yeah, the mental, financial, boom. Yeah, takeoff into retirement, and you're done. You don't have anything to worry about.
It's a no-cost, no-obligation review to see what your retirement plan could be before you launch your retirement. Call Coach Pete's local trusted advisor, Craig Chandler, 800-419-6164, 800-419-6164, 800-419-6164. Craig Chandler, Chandler Wealth Management, 800-419-6164.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
They have to step up the pressure on Russia. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says this morning, that Russia shows no signs of stopping the war and concessions won't stop them. This is European foreign ministers meet today, insisting that Friday's summit between President Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin in Alaska has to include Ukraine, or else there can be no peace deal.
We're going to try to find some negotiated settlement that the Ukrainians and the Russians can live with.
Vice President Vance tells Fox Sunday Morning Futures,
both the Russians and the Ukrainians probably at the end of the day are going to be unhappy with it.
Israel came under a lot of pressure at a UN Security Council meeting where other countries denounced a plan to escalate the war into Gaza City, but Deputy Ambassador Jonathan Miller insists
Israel's goal is not to take over Gaza, but to free Gaza from Hamas.
An Israeli strike in Gaza killed several journalists, including one from Al Jazeera that Israel claims is a Hamas commander, which Al Jazeera and other journalist organizations deny. Later this morning, President Trump will hold a news conference on his plan to send in more federal law enforcement to fight crime in Washington.
He's interested in being in neighborhoods, in fighting crime in neighborhoods.
Now, that's D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser on MSNBC. She says violent crime is down in Washington. The president, in a Truth Social post, called her a good person, but crime numbers have gotten worse, and the nation's capital gets dirtier and less attractive. In another post,
the president sent out photos of homeless encampments in Washington, D.C. He wrote, "The homeless have to move out immediately. We will give you places to stay, but far from the capital." He also issued an executive order last month on homelessness, encouraging states to prioritize funding for programs that enforce camping bans and require sobriety and treatment.
That's Fox's Jill Nato. There's flooding in parts of the Midwest. Some people needed to be rescued from the high water in Milwaukee. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Tired of all the negative media manipulation? Wake up feeling right with the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. Glad that you're here. Thank you for being part of the Morning Extra family and the Extra 106.3 family. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. So I don't know what Al Gore's going to do. I mean, he's made, I don't know, what is it, $330 million since losing to George W. Bush.
Well, he did tell us the polarized caps are going to melt.
I know. He's getting paid $2 million a month. $2 million a month because this is according to the Daily Mail. He set up a green investment now worth $36 billion pays him $2 million a month. And he talks about rain bombs and boiling oceans and ice caps and just all those things.
Well, we were supposed to have like the mountaintops, so like the Himalayas are going to be melted,
and
they're just as cold.
New Orleans, we're going right. There's actually more ice there, is what we're seeing. New Orleans was going to be gone. Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket and all them, they're going to be gone. Half Florida's going to be gone.
Don't you think it would be more impressive if he didn't believe any of this and he made that kind of money?
Yes, very much so. Yes,
because then if you actually do, then you just happen to fall into it because you're like Taylor Lorenz committed to it.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh my God! I mean, that woman's crazy.
Yeah, she's nutso.
But she believes she's crazy, and she believes in what she believes in.
Absolutely. Al Gore, I don't think he believes any of it. John Kerry, I don't believe they believe any of it.
Yeah,
they just see it as an opportunity to make a grip of money, and they've done that. I'm trying not to be mad at them, because there are fools out there that are willing to just cut you checks.
It would be as if, and it'd be a very similar scenario, if Tug went home and then he got out his hammer and sickle and threw on his Nazi uniform costume.
Well, hang on, what?
And it made his wife go get an abortion even though she's not pregnant.
Yeah. You'll go now.
He's playing a character on the air. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Al Gore, I believe, has played a character on the air for the longest amount of time, for the better part of 30 years.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it was 2000 when he lost, right? The hanging Chad, that's that whole deal.
State of Florida, everything went nuts. Yeah,
absolutely. That was the beginnings of what we're going to see now with Florida being blood red. But the reason I bring all this up, Los, there's actually a relevant reason to bring this up. In Atlanta, we've recorded our 9th day in a row below average temperatures.
Oh, no.
Guessing today will be number 10. Now, if this were going the other way, if it were hotter than normal, what do you think people like Al Gore would be screaming?
I already know. I already follow her on Twitter.
She said, the world's coming to an end. The oceans are boiling.
You don't understand how hot it is. Okay.
Yeah, right. But with 9 days...
You mean it's cyclical in nature? How weird.
It's very odd. I'm surprised. It's been happening for billions of years. What? But that's the thing. So today will be 10, and if it were hotter, they would be screaming climate change. Now that it's cooler for 9 going on 10 days, it's just it's just a weather pattern. That's all. It's just
always what it's always been.
Well, yeah, you and I know that.
Yes.
But if it went the other way, it wouldn't just be normal.
Tug, I don't know if your elementary school situation was the same as mine.
I had Miss Debbie in 2nd grade.
Okay, I remember the big push when I was like in 1st and 2nd grade was the ending of aerosol cans.
I remember that vaguely a little bit.
The hole in the ozone layer.
Yes, that's right.
That's the deal. We were told that we're all going to burn to death from the sun because we've created such a massive hole in the ozone layer.
Heat just gets through there.
Now, when was the last time you heard about the ozone layer?
Probably 2nd grade.
Now, remember,
it's been a long time.
All the aerosol cans at the time went to the spritz.
Yeah.
So rather than having the traditional aerosol can, it was like, okay, it's a pump action.
Yeah.
And that was the response to it. And then you recognized this is bogus, and everyone went back to the more effective spray.
That's right. Now they're all back. But there you go. So we've cured climate change. Who knew? Here in Atlanta, we've cured it.
Good.
The NFL ended racism, and we've cured climate change. Damn, that's a hell of a day. We're on a Monday.
What a run we're on.
I'm telling you, on Monday, we've already done both of these
Climate change is done, and the NFL, it fixed racism.
Gosh,
Love
man. That's just amazing. I'm just glad that we could participate the way that we have on this level.
Now, it hasn't fixed prejudice.
Wow, that's coming.
Because it better not.
You don't think so?
I'm the most prejudiced person in the world. Man. I love it.
Well, then, yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
That's right.
One of my favorite things to do. I walk into your house and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I see what's going on here.
I mean, the minute my wife is like, oh, you have to meet so-and-so and meet her husband, I'm like, what does he know about sports?
Yeah, right. That's my litmus test.
Because as soon as I hear him like, oh, so how are the Braves doing this year? I'm like, here we go. And my prejudice comes through.
Kicks in.
I'm like, well, I see, I know what you're into.
Yeah. Weirdo.
Pajamas and lattes.
Yeah. Pajama boy. Mm-hmm. Keep your crisscross applesauce on the floor. Can we go back to saying Indian style? Can we do that?
I mean, we might as well bring everything back.
We're bringing things back.
It's Indian style.
That's right. When's the last time you heard anybody say Indian
Back when I was in school?
Exactly right. We had to change it. We changed it to crisscross applesauce.
And that's another thing that's kind of funny about this as we're on to all these, these connotations that people come up with. Somebody please do a deep dive into how violent the American Indians were. Good Lord. They're just slaughtering each other.
Each other. That's exactly right. And anybody else come around.
Like you had the Europeans that showed up and they're like, damn.
Wow, I thought we killed a lot of people.
I mean, the story has always been like, oh, they were one with the land and they moved around and they migrated and they followed the animals. And if it was the wrong group of people, they would slaughter each other.
Yeah, the warring tribes, as they were described. I remember it well. Yeah. Maybe a story time is due.
We might be able to drop this in this week.
With the violence of Native Americans.
Get you right into, you'll learn a little bit about the Comanches, and you're like, man, there were some groups.
The Apaches, too, weren't they?
Dude, you had groups, they rode up on you.
Yeah.
They rode up on your community, and you're like, it was just short of Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Like, you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to fix everybody's little red wagon. Everything's going to be done. Democrats would have a meltdown just to hear this conversation if it were happening, with many of them around. Maybe there's a few Democrats listening. I don't know. And if you are, welcome. 404-741-1230.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, glad you're here. Glad to talk to you.
Welcome to your red pill.
There you go. You'll wake up quickly, or you'll be angry.
Love said that the Native Americans were violent.
How could he? He's awful. That front office Lowe's call. He sounds like a white supremacist. Uh-oh. You've run into your first speed bump of the show.
Dang it.
CNN has some interesting ways to describe the Democrat Party, but it's exactly right. I'm just surprised as a station that caters, a network that caters to the Democrat brand, that they talk about it like this. But it might also tell you why that their ratings suck so bad. Listen to this.
No front runner.
What do you think? Is that because how people view the Democratic Party right now, is that contributing to this?
Yeah, I think that is in large part of what's going on, is one of the reasons why there is no front runner. Nobody wants to put anybody up at the top of their ballot list, is because at this particular point, the Democratic brand is in the basement. It is total and complete garbage in the mind of the American public.
I even love the way he said it. Garbage. He put a little tail at the end of garbage. He made it sound different, but he's exactly right. And as soon as he said that, as soon as I listened to this, it's either Saturday or yesterday, whatever day I listened to it, I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder CNN is failing so miserably. They cater to that message, to that group of people, right? So the brand is awful. You're catering to that brand. Do you not see the ill of your ways? And of course they don't.
I've just never understood that you're going at a very small minority of people. And in order to reach them, you have to come up with a very small minority of thought in order to grab them. Like in the podcast world, like for the longest time, it was focus small, grow your audience.
Yep.
So for instance,
have a niche.
I could do a college football podcast. No, don't do that. Just focus on Georgia and only do Georgia.
Got it. Well,
like
that, yeah, okay. Yeah.
For some reason, as a television network, they've looked at it and said, let's focus small and stay small and keep the message small.
Yeah, and continue to fail miserably by following those plans.
Doesn't that have to be the hubris of thinking that it is much more mainstream? Like if any one of these people, I swear, if I ever run a television network, and that day is coming, I'm going to take my people, my producers, and I'm going to send them to like Iowa.
Yeah. So you can
fly them
actually
there,
see what real people live like?
Go, and I'll be like, go hit the bars, go hit the restaurants, go talk to people. You are going to get an idea of what middle America looks like and what
Learn your community. Learn who you're speaking to.
Who you're trying to reach.
Because the only people they speak to are on the coast.
On the coast, that's it.
But I think what causes them such issue, and this is something I've brought up before, but I think it's appropriate to bring it up again, they believe the crap that they're putting out. CNN as a network, they believe so heavily in the crap they're putting out that they're willing to lose and fail and then sit back and wonder why. They truly believe in the rot that they're promoting.
I've talked about this before, and it's been 20 years. My wife, at the time when we were dating, she had a roommate who worked for CNN. And I went to a number of their parties, their functions. Now, these were like lower level, producers of CNN material. Man, these people were dedicated to it. Like they firmly believed that they were changing the world, and they all had the same mindset. the stuff that you're used to seeing, that was their mindset. That the rest of the country was wrong and dumb.
Well, that's because they're in the bubble. They're in the D.C. bubble. They're in the New York City bubble or the L.A. bubble. Those are
garbage.
Garbage is exactly right. But that's the thing. They live in that bubble. So if you're continuously in the bubble, you can't see the forest for the trees. What in the world would you have that could connect with someone like me? In from Northwest Georgia, living in kind of 20 miles north of Atlanta. What could you possibly have to relate to me? Nothing. I mean, maybe we like the same bourbon or something, but probably not. I'm trying to find something that we can connect on. When you went to those parties and you ran into those people, what was the discussion like? I mean, it had to be just so very awkward.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. So for the most part, one of the first ones we went to, a majority of the okay, all right. Let me take a step back here. It was an 80s party, and it was in October, and my wife and I decided, because it was 80s themed, that we would dress up as American gladiators.
I love it.
So I have on like a pair of like red, white, and blue biker shorts.
Yeah.
And I'm actually wearing a sports bra with a headband that says laser.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. She's got kind of a similar outfit. It turns out when we got there, a majority of the audience there was gay. And I was incredibly popular.
That's great.
In fact, when I went over to the keg, and I'll never forget this, there was a gentleman who was about 6'5". He was a bear. And he said it to make sure I could hear it as he talked to his friend. I'm doing everything I can to keep from grabbing his ass.
Oh, wow. And you heard that? You heard him say that?
Yes. This
seems awkward.
This was again. So you're talking about a very liberal audience. Again, It was a great time. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure. That's
was
great.
awesome.
Very friendly.
Yes,
maybe
friendly.
Maybe too friendly.
Me and my sports bra, apparently. As I'm looking like an American gladiator. But yes, when you were around, you would hear things that you just went like looking back on it and just go like, why? Like how far liberal out there was the mindset?
Gosh, man.
And now, let's go ahead and program a network, because these people are no longer the 24-year-old editors. Now they're the 40, 50-year-olds that run the network.
Yeah, run the assignments, all of it. And now they continue to fail, and they continue to slip and slide. See, if they'd have been smart, Los, they'd have probably just given Trump, I don't know, a couple of the things that he wanted to do. Let business go on the way it was. Instead, they're like, well, we're going to destroy this man. And what they've done now is destroyed themselves in the wake of this.
I tried to drive this home over the weekend because it was, you get up on a Sunday morning, you have a random thought, and you're like, I'm going to put that out there in the world and let's see what happens. Do you realize that man wanted $5 billion? $5 billion in order to build a border wall. And his political aspirations were nothing more than secure the border, cut some taxes. That was it. And he looked at it as, okay, and this is what I'm going to do. And had they just left him alone, he probably would have done his 2 terms and it'd be over with now.
That's right.
Instead, because you raided his wife's panty drawer.
Yes.
And you went after him in the way that you did, he's decided it's open season on the entirety of the power structure of the Democrat Party. All you had to do was give him $5 billion and leave his wife's panties alone.
And they would have kept how many hundreds of billions because of USAI? They would have kept the whole their
structure.
Powers. They would have kept everything had they just built the wall and sat on their hands. And as their constituents complained, be like, well, we do need to secure the border. It's probably, it's probably a good idea.
You still would have had USAID.
You'd have had everything.
You'd have had the entire structure all together. Yeah.
It would have been complete status quo.
If you just gave him what he wanted, which, looking back on it, do you realize how idiotic it was to fight him over $5 billion?
And I don't know how many billions they've lost now, but that has to be astronomical. I bet it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions.
Had you, and this is for our Democrat listeners out there, had you just given him $5 billion and let him have his tax cuts and finished his wall, okay? At no point does he ever go and hire the richest man in the world to cut your spending on the Democrat side. At no point does he ever go, hey, Nancy Pelosi's been doing insider trading? At no point does the DOJ go, yeah, instead of business as usual, let's actually go after crime.
Yeah. Can you imagine where we'd be right now? There'd be a border wall. We would still have Democrat.
And by the way, he's getting his wall anyway.
Well, yeah, he's getting, for sure. He is. And he's getting all the people back. Because basically when you said, no, we're not giving him the wall, we're going to get him, we're going to tear him down. And then you stole an election. Just think if you hadn't have stole that election, it would have been done and over with.
He'd be done.
It'd be over.
In fact, you would have been dealing with him without the House and out the Senate.
And nothing would look like it does today. You would still have sorority girls afraid to do videos and of fun and being inviting to their sorority.
We would not be getting another census going on.
There wouldn't be Sydney Sweeney ads.
We would not have billions of dollars that have been put together to send illegals out of here. We would not have had an alligator Alcatraz.
None of it. None of it. Everything you hate would not be in motion right now.
And so that's why I'm pointing out, none of this is on me. It's on you. Okay? The Democrats did this. You should have given him $5 billion as border wall and just left him alone.
Instead, they didn't give him $5 billion, but they gave him 4 years. 4 years to sit at home and say, if I get another chance, here's what I'm going to do. And he did. And he is. This is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. When we come back, the true number of people saved by the COVID vax is way, way less than we thought. Next on Extra.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
My name is Patrick, and I'm the Military Outreach Manager at the Warrior Alliance. I served in the U.S. Army as an airborne ranger and deployed to several combat zones in support of the global war on terror. Veterans bring excellence through our work ethic, skills, and civic duty. However, transitioning to civilian life can be difficult, as we all share a loss of purpose when leaving the military. Returning veterans have earned and deserve our support so they can thrive on their journey home. The Warrior Alliance understands the challenge and is helping warriors navigate to success after service. Join us in changing thousands of lives for the better. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
Need advice on getting things fixed up around the house? No matter how big or small that project is, we've got your answers. Listen to us on the All Four Seasons Home Show presented by the Trusted Toolbox. Join Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows, and me, Chris Lalamia, your favorite handyman from the Trusted Toolbox, as we tackle all the issues, fixes, and honey-do projects around your home. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. or grab the podcast anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Don't miss out as your Atlanta Braves face the White Sox and Mets August 18th through the 24th. Fans can look forward to 3 giveaways during the series, including the Spencer Strider vinyl record giveaway on August 19th, featuring music from some of Spencer's favorite bands, plus a post-game performance at the Battery Atlanta Green, hosted by Spencer. And on Friday the 22nd, join us for a special alumni night presented by your local Ford dealer to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the '95 World Series championship. Check out the pregame alumni parade down Battery Avenue Avenue, featuring fan favorites like Greg Maddux, Fred McGriff, Javi Lopez, and more. And then receive a 95 World Series replica ring presented by Coke. Then we keep the fun rolling on Saturday with the first annual hunting and fishing night, including some fun activities courtesy of the Georgia Department of Natural Resources in the Battery Atlanta, and a camo rope hat giveaway presented by Realtree. Get your tickets at braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Monday, August 11th. Memorials continue for DeKalb County Police Officer David Rose after he was killed in the line of duty Friday during a shooting at the Center for Disease Control. Officials say Rose was new to the department and accepted high honors at his graduation. Rose was a father, husband, and Marine before serving as a police officer. The suspect was found dead at the scene. The investigation is still underway. Paulding County Police seized over $25,000 worth of drugs, including meth, magic mushrooms, and THC cartridges over the weekend. 6 people were arrested and a vehicle was seized. Police say they followed a community tip to make the bust. Brookhaven residents had a rude awakening Saturday morning as a small prop plane crashed into the front yard of a home. The plane was registered to a flight training school out of Peachtree DeKalb Airport. 3 people were rushed to the hospital. And Marietta City schools are showing some positive signs with literacy rates increasing in the district. Grades 3 through 8 showed an 11% increase in literacy over the past 3 years. School officials say that's due to increased staff, small class sizes, and focused tutoring for students who are behind in reading. Today's weather, showers with temperatures in the high 70s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
7 o'clock hour brought to you by Van Zant Law Group. If you're in an accident, make the right call. VanZantLaw.com. I know Georgia fans, we're, 19 days away from the first Georgia game. The 29th is Georgia Tech's game where they travel out to Colorado to take on Deion Sanders.
That'll be fun. And,
I think so.
And by the way, they're a favorite in that game.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, yeah. Man, me and my son were talking about this. And we're Georgia fans. His best friend's a quarterback at Georgia Tech. So we talk about the two teams relatively often. And I asked him, I was like, if you were in the situation right now, are you taking Georgia's quarterback or Georgia Tech's quarterback? And he was like, I gotta tell you,
Tech.
as much as and he loves Gunner. He was like, why? How can you not take Haynes King?
I think you'd be really excited about what the possibility of what Haynes King, if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because his playing style does lead to having to deal with. Last year was a shoulder injury, but when he's healthy, he's fun.
And he is a road warrior, man. He is going to take the abuse. He'll run the ball. He will take the beating.
And by the way, this was a highly recruited quarterback at Texas A&M before ending up over at Georgia Tech. This is not a, hey, we found a 3-star and he turned out to be a player. I was like, this is a stud. Oh, by the way, if you missed it over the weekend. And I didn't because I'm a glutton for punishment. I did decide to watch some Cowboy preseason football.
Oh, yeah.
So I could hate on Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
But one of the funniest posts I saw over the weekend was, y'all done messed up for letting Stetson Bennett get sober.
Dude, I'm telling you.
He lit him up, man. He was good. Staquavius was good. So we're talking little quarterbacks in the state of Georgia. Staquavius did his thing over the weekend. Haynes King is getting lined up to do his thing this year.
Exactly right. I was so happy for Stetson. He's one of those kids that has been told, look, he comes from a silver spoon. You can like him for that or you can hate him for that, however you feel. But you can't ever say he didn't grind it out to be what he is. He's had and a lot of people would say that's endearing, just the ups and downs, to be in that kind of spotlight and have bumps in the road. And he has. But he's always been told no. He was never supposed to be leading Georgia to 2 national championships ever. That was never in the plan.
If he is what he is as of right now, The dude's going to play in the NFL for about 7 to 10 seasons, and that's pretty cool.
Do you think he ever gets a starting job?
There's a possibility where
if he plays like that,
I think that he's got the Chase Daniel opportunity. Chase Daniel, if you don't remember, he was a quarterback at Missouri. The guy was like 5'9", like he was a hood ornament. But he was so good at being ready at a moment's notice that he ended up bouncing around the league. I think he ended up playing like 12 or 14 years, and he was everybody's backup.
Yeah.
And when you needed a starter, somebody to spot start, he could spot start and win a game. And I think that's kind of the same trajectory that you have when it comes to Staquavius.
Old number 13, lucky number 13.
He was good over the weekend. He was good.
Is that his first game throwing multiple touchdowns? I think that's what I read from Rams PR. Today against Cowboys, Mark's first time quarterback Stetson Bennett has thrown multiple touchdown passes a single game in his NFL career. So, dude, yeah, y'all done messed up. Letting him get sober. Letting him straighten things out.
Sober. By the way, Chase Daniel, 13 years in the league, and he had, just so you know, 5 starts. But he played in 74 games.
Yeah.
Because he was like the constant backup if you needed somebody to come in and do the deal. And by the way, his record as a starter is 2-3. So again,
not glowing.
Don't be awful.
Yeah.
Just be ready.
Yeah. And
I think that's what you're going to get.
I hope so, man. I was happy with Stetson's performance. I read about it. I didn't get a chance to see it, but
He was good.
I've seen the highlights. I've seen a bunch of the highlights. Obviously, Georgia shared a bunch of the highlights.
He made throws.
I follow. Yeah.
He's all sober.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
I was watching it trying to not be. I was like, this is awful.
Yeah.
Schottenheimer's awful.
Yeah, that didn't change that fact.
I'm so happy football's coming back.
Me too, man.
Close.
Something to talk. Dude, I've even had the urge to watch the Falcons. I guess because they ended racism. I guess.
The NFL ended racism, so now I'm watching the Falcons.
Dumb back in. No, I've not had the urge in 5 years, but my wife bought me a new Falcons hat. She just said, and it's the old Falcons logo, the one I grew up with, and I don't know what it was. I mean, I wore that thing this weekend. I was like, well, maybe. Because I've been out for 5 years. I mean, solid, hard out.
I think today's the day where I'm going to actually pay for my NFL Sunday ticket.
Because they've been
trying to charge my card for like 8 straight days.
Medina, we've been trying to reach you about your subscription.
I got an email from them that were like, we're having a problem charging your card. I'm like, that's because it's a different address now.
That's right. And I'll control when you charge that card, sir.
But, yeah, I might as well just... It's one of those. It's non-negotiable. That's what my wife and I do every single Sunday. I'm going to have to pay it no matter what.
Yeah, right. So, because your wife is a Redskins fan, or
No, they're the Redskins. They all call them Redskins.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
They don't. Not one of them that are the fans called the Commanders. They're the Redskins.
Our friend Ice Cold Stu works here in this building.
Calls them Redskins.
Huge Redskins fan, and he's never called them Commanders. Ever.
Even when they were the Washington football team.
He still called them
Could
Redskins.
you imagine that? We went through a 2020-2021 where they went, they really should not have a name. We'll just call them the Washington football team because we're going to fix racism in this way.
And they did. Look, they fixed it.
No, they've sorted out everything.
It's not even on the field anymore.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I have every Democrat in the world. If you talk about them like redistricting or getting illegals out, they're like, it's racist. I'm like, I already gave you the high ground.
We fixed it.
No, not really.
The problem.
Yeah, you're right. It's all racist, and you all got to go. And this is what's happening. I'm sorry. Now, are you calling me dumb because you're racist? I guess so. Jasmine Crockett, you're a moron.
Yes, she is.
Are you saying that because you're racist? I guess so.
Yes,
Fine. Oh, you got me. Oh,
Finally.
Way to really drive it home.
Finally, we got you.
I tell you what, call my bosses. Call the owner of the company and be like, yeah, that guy's racist. You know what he's going to say? Yeah, I've known him for a better part of 20 years.
Yeah, I know that's not the case. I remember one time when I was working with our former coworker, who now is taking a big-time job at Chick-fil-A, me and Hudson, and he had said something inadvertently that was, it sounded a particular way, whatever, but not what he meant. If you listen to the context, not what he meant. And we had somebody call in. They're like, dude, I've known him for, since he was in high school. He's not racist.
It's like,
calm down.
Do you think that he would have survived in the locker room at Georgia for 5 years?
Are you serious?
With a bunch of dudes that don't look like him?
Yeah, are you serious right now? You sound absurd. You sound freaking crazy. So, yes, that's exactly what they would say.
Because the locker room will always expose exactly who you are.
You know what? I would say a locker room, and from my experience, a Navy ship, because there's such a cross section, and you're living.
You can't hide it.
You're
living
in
it off.
Close quarters. I mean, physically close. I mean, the birthing area of this of a ship is about the size of this room with 50 people living in it. There's no way to escape. You see people's true colors, the things that set them off for no reason.
It's a real world at sea.
It is. But a locker room at Georgia or Alabama, same way.
You see, Jeray, they stopped being polite.
Yeah.
Started getting real.
True story.
On your TV station, which you will have one day, Los TV, I want a military reality show.
Military reality show.
Pete Hegseth would not have that.
But not operational, not like any of the classified stuff, just the drama. Just the drama.
What I would love to do, take people through, like I've got a friend of mine, and his son is committed to Air Force.
So cool. He's going to play baseball, right?
Going to play baseball there.
So awesome.
The wild part is that they told him, like, they have their own version of their basic training.
Mm-hmm.
Here's their 6 weeks of what they're going to do. And the coaches have already told him, you actually have to sneak away to figure out when to swing a bat. And his son's like, wait a minute, like
I thought I was going to play baseball. What are you talking
it's
about?
like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't get to swing a bat for 6 weeks. They're like, you have to figure out the time when it's your own private time to work on baseball.
And there's very little.
And there's very little of it. And so I would love to document something like that, like just that period of time with some of these young people.
And did you see where Pete Hegseth, I think it was last week, said drill sergeants are back?
Yeah.
For boot camp for the last, 4, 5, 6 years, it's just been
no microaggressions, no macroaggressions.
It's been so soft serve.
Yeah.
It was as soft as freaking puppy poop, man. It was just soft. And Pete Hegseth said those days are over. We're getting drill sergeants back in. We're making soldiers out of these people. We're going to tear them down and build them up as a team. We are so back.
Yeah,
the
we're
military is so back.
I think about a guy like Arlie Ermy.
Yes,
the late great Arlie Ermy.
Yes.
And when he did his work in Full Metal Jacket, and as a consultant, to the point where Stanley Kubrick was like, "Never mind, you're in the movie.
Just do
what you're trying to just do what you do.
Just do that.
Just do that."
Yeah, he was a badass.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so cool. So that's what Hegseth wants. That same level of intensity, that same level of demand out of our men and women in uniform, and I'm here for it. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great for us, I'm telling you. We do need to talk about this as we're running out of time in this segment, and it's so important that the COVID vax, Los, was even less effective than we thought it was. Now, we already knew that it was garbage, right? Like the Democrat name, the Democrat brand, garbage. But it's even less effective than we thought.
Let me give you the numbers here. So, first off, the piece of audio. This is from Peter Schwarzer from the Drill Down. He's going to do a quick recap. This is a study that came out late Thursday. Didn't even show up my radar until Saturday when I got a chance to read through it and go through it. This from a major university, Stanford. Kind of reputable.
They do all right.
Yeah. Take a listen to these, and I'll drill down on the numbers in a moment.
This is crazy. How is this not a bigger deal? A Stanford University-led study that just came out last week says that COVID-19 vaccinations saved not about 17 million fewer lives than previously reported. They're now suggesting that the COVID vaccine saved 2.5 million lives from 20 to 2024, not like 20 million lives. They say that's the equivalent of one death averted for every 5,400 vaccine doses administered worldwide. Millions of people were faced with the idea of losing their job if they didn't take a vaccine. New York Times analysis from December of 2021 said 12 million public employees were subject to a mandate. At least 49,000 people in the public sector probably lost their jobs or were disciplined for noncompliance as of that time. Other estimates suggest hundreds of thousands of people lost their jobs because they refused to take a vaccine. Saying because, then you don't care about your neighbor, you don't care about yourself. It was like you have to do this if you want to take care of yourself.
And they were wrong. This is the thing that everybody has to keep in mind. I think, experts are fine. You want to have experts, especially in certain areas where it's critical. But this arrogant notion that they adopt, that everybody else needs to shut up and focus on what we have to say, and nobody else can have an opinion because we're the experts, and then you totally flame out later on. People remember that, and what ends up happening is people have a lot less trust in the medical establishment now than they did 5 years ago.
All right, so here's how the numbers break down. According to the Stanford study, And I've got the study actually in front of me. They started it in October 1st of 2024, ran through a 5-year period from 2020 to 2024, looked at a total number when it came to millions of people who took this dosage, right? So here's the numbers, very simply. For you, Tug, if you were to have taken the shot, it improved the ability to survive COVID by 1%. If you were a child or an adolescent, it was 1/10 of 1%. If you were an adult, let's say in this case, what I think the numbers were, they had it up to 54 years old. Then it was 0.07%, so 0.7 of 1%. You took an experimental government shot that they handed out to millions of people, and when they say, it saved 20 million, probably saved about 2 around the world.
Vindicated. I wrote that word down. Vindicated, because everybody that pushed back on this has been vindicated. And the other thing that I wrote down when I was listening to that cut, Los, when they were talking about, if you want to have your experts, you can have your experts. The experts seem to be wrong a whole lot. In a variety of different categories. But every time we turn on TV or we see people declaring themselves experts or being set up as experts, I automatically discount what they say because most of them are wrong.
By the way, so you can find this entire write-up, this entire paper over on the JAMA Network, which that's where all these medical reports end up showing up when they get published. And the fun part about the collusion and relevance, the final line is, most benefits in lives and life years saved was secured for a portion of older persons, a minority of the global population. Ta-da!
How long have we been telling you this? How long?
Ta-da!
Los was on the cutting edge of this, so much so you get to listen to him on Extra 106. That's how cutting edge he was. That's how ahead of this he was, that he said it on a sports station. They're like, no. We've got
I'm not allowed to do local television anymore, and the sports station's like, oh my God, if we bring him over here, is he going to talk about this again?
You've got to be moved to the island of misfit toys, otherwise known as Extra 106.3.
2021, as the SEC is getting ready to get football going, they're like, we have this much of a vaccine uptake. I'm like, why? They're kids.
And they're in the prime of their health years.
They're the most healthy among us.
Dude, they're in better shape than anybody on planet Earth. You tell me that the kids at Georgia and Alabama and Michigan and wherever,
they're worried about a chest cold?
No, they're not.
No, you know who is? Somebody whose average age is 78 or in very poor health with 4 to 5 issues going on with their comorbidities. Okay, I go to Stanford. Thank you.
Vindicated.
Thank you.
I think it's when I wrote down vindicated.
Thank you, Stanford.
Yes. Stanford has vindicated us all. On Extra 106.3, when we come back, if Friday is a success, Trump will virtually be impossible to beat in 2026. Next on Extra 106.3.
Sports news powered by 680 The Fan and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, August 11th. The Atlanta Braves end up taking 4 of 5 from the Miami Marlins and have now won 3 straight after a 7-1 victory yesterday afternoon. The Braves are off today before beginning a 6-game road trip, starting with a 3-game series in New York against the Mets beginning tomorrow. From the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons, they're back in action at training camp as of this morning, as the workouts are now back open and ready for the public over at Flowery Branch. Training camp practice today begins at 9:30 in the morning. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Evan Ward of Atlas Retirement doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Evan will develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Evan Ward at Atlas Retirement to schedule your personal portfolio x-ray today. Call 678-252-5224. That's 678-252-5224. Or online at atlasretirement.net.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's here to tell you about a new company that is changing the way people buy their next pre-owned car or truck. At The Honest Car Guy, they offer a completely transparent way to purchase a vehicle. You pay what he pays, plus a small honest fee. You can choose any make or model. He will search the country for the best deal out there. He'll handle the paperwork, your trade-in, shipping, and even give you the bill of sale. Friends, I've done the research, and this is a buying process that you can trust. Call 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit online at honestcarguy.com.
Good morning, Mike. What you eating?
You gotta try this.
I can hear you crunching from the next cube over.
This is amazing. I just discovered it this weekend at Lidl. It's Greek Goddess Gourmet Granola. They were sampling it, so I tried it. Then I bought 6 bags.
Wow. Is it cereal?
Can be. Or an amazing trail mix. It's great for a meal or a snack.
What's in it?
Well, they have 2 flavors, maple oat and harvest nut, which is my favorite. It's made with whole grain oats, almonds, pecans, raisins, coconut, and the sweet taste of pure maple syrup. Maple oat is a simpler take on their delicious granola. It's got wholesome oats, plump raisins, coconut, and maple syrup.
That sounds healthy and delicious.
That's why I can't stop crunching, Susan.
Greek Goddess Gourmet Granola. It's a breakfast or on-the-go snack you can feel good about. It's dairy-free and gluten-free, and with only 2 grams of added sugar per serving, even your belly will love it. Pick some up at Lidl, Amazon, GreekGoddessGourmet.com, or at specialty stores near you.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, 1 second chance at a time. This week's guests are former APD Chief Bryant and Natalie Ammons from the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Gentlemen, listen up. When it's not hard, it's really hard. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 have some form of ED? It's true, and I'm one of them. ED followed me everywhere. Heck, even my initials are ED. I'm Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia, and I know ED. It can lead to feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there's good news. I can fix it. I fixed mine, and I can fix yours too. At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, we are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, Trimix to create an erection, and more. Guys, ED won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at 404-777-1911. That's 404-777-1911, or learn about us more online at tbtofga.com. So take it from me, ED, Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Call 404-777-1911 or online at tbtofga.com.
Attention warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Extra 106.3. Join us on the mission. The the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Donald Trump pursuing peace. He's the only dictator in the history of mankind that has been a guy that pursues peace more than war. It's really an anomaly if you think about it.
So strange that he maintains his power by pursuing peace around the world
and giving people the ability to live in peaceful times instead of war-torn countries. And that's exactly what he's trying to do in Russia and Ukraine. So this Friday, he's supposed to sit down with Vladimir Putin. Is supposed to be in Anchorage, Alaska. He's up against a lot of. When you think about this, he's up against a lot of people, and not just the Democrats in this, because there's a lot of countries that have a vested interest in this war continuing. Namely, the Chinese. The Chinese have an absolute vested interest in this war continuing, because what happens if the war comes to an end, or as J.D. Vance suggested over the weekend, the Europeans take the ball and run with it. We're going to step back. Will we provide weaponry? Will we sell weaponry? Absolutely, the answer is yes. But if we step back from that, what can we then do? We can then focus on the Chinese. So the Chinese have the biggest vested interest in this not working. But that don't mean Donald Trump's not going to try.
No, and this is strange in that you do have the biggest conflict that we have right now in Europe, obviously, is this, outside of immigration. So you now have a situation where the Democrats are looking at it and saying they don't want Trump to have a victory, so they're rooting for continued carnage and death.
Isn't that crazy?
It's very strange.
It's insane. This is the used to be the party of love, and
yes, it's all the doves.
Yes.
We're all the doves.
Well, they don't exist anymore.
No, it's completely switched based on Trump's leadership. That peace around the world, because let's face it, he's a business guy. Peace around the world is good for business.
Peace through strength.
Peace around the world is good for markets.
For sure it is. Including ours.
It stabilizes everything. That is what you're looking to push. I want you to take a listen. So this ends up being Matthew Whitaker. He's the U.S. ambassador to NATO. He was on CNN, and he laid out that if there's anyone who's going to be able to get this done, it's going to be POTUS.
We could save thousands of lives with a deal. And I think that by both sides communicating, by President Trump meeting in Alaska on Friday with either one or both of the combatants, I think this is exciting. And I think President Trump's really the only one that could make this happen. He's the sole reason I think this meeting is happening on Friday. He's a peacemaker. He's averaging about a peace deal a month right now. We saw just this week where Armenia and Azerbaijan came together to settle their decades-long conflict. It's been a series of peace deals. And so, I think President Trump is best situated to see if a deal can be had and if both sides can agree to ending the slaughter.
So the argument has been from the left, well, what about Zelensky? This is where things are so tricky. You already have J.D. Vance, who brought it up on network news, brought it up on network television. We're not funding this thing anymore. It's like, if you want to buy stuff from us, you can buy stuff from us. We're not funding this thing anymore. At the same time, you have Donald Trump pushing on the other end when it comes to Putin. And I think a lot of this very simply comes down to this. You're winning, so we got to work with you first. We're talking about Russian territory. It's Ukrainian territory that the Russians now own. You have to work with them first.
It started with Crimea years ago.
Yeah.
That they just commandeered under Obama.
During the Obama administration.
Now the Donbass region is really the region that the Ukrainians don't want to give up, but the Russians have already taken over for the most part. And they want that to be permanent.
Which is Russian speaking, by the way. Doesn't make it right. It just means that they wanted the area they think was theirs.
But then on top of that, when you look at the polling of what's happening in Ukraine, those people are done, man.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like 70-75% of Ukrainians are saying, we're done.
You notice
Let them
how
have whatever.
fast, and this is for all the liberals out there who ever had the flag, the Ukrainian flag on their profile.
I still see it. It still pops up.
Do you recognize how fast that those protests against Zelensky went away? I mean, we're talking about just 2 weeks ago. They're protesting to be like take the deal, get out of this thing, be done with it. And yet Zelensky's like, nope. After suspending elections,
right?
Church service, the media, like you're telling me this is a fight for freedom, yet you've taken freedom away from the Ukrainian people.
But isn't that what Democrats do all the time? They're telling you
that's what dictators do.
That's exactly right. And but the Democrat Party too. Remember, during COVID, they told you to save your freedom, to save your life. They had to shut you up. They had to take your ability to go to church away. They had to take your ability to go to work away. Do you not see? Those are really comparative.
But we're at war.
Right.
But we're at war. But it's a virus.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the dictator in chief, Donald Trump, when he had the opportunity, what did he say? I'll leave it to the governors. Y'all decide what you're going to do. You could have had the biggest power grab ever.
The dictator that is all in favor of peace, as we started the segment, and the guy that says y'all do whatever y'all think's best in your state
community
and in your community. That's the strangest behavior from dictator. Dictators don't behave that way.
No, they act a lot more like Zelensky
or
Putin
or Biden.
Yeah,
Obama and Biden did
tell you what you're going to do.
That's exactly right. And if you don't, we'll call you a threat to democracy. We'll take your job away or do our best.
Man, I'm glad we're just revealing so much of this stuff for the audience this morning. And I hope, I hope everything goes down on Friday. Because it'd
be huge.
At this point, it really is, in my opinion, strictly about ego. The Russians don't want to give up what they got.
Power and money, too.
And Zelensky doesn't want to stop fighting.
Yeah. And when you have the Chinese, like I said, they have a vested interest in it not working because they don't want Donald Trump's focus on them. Look what he did to Iran when he had his focus on someone.
But I will point this out, too. If Zelensky doesn't take a deal, those people are going to oust him in the way that they've ousted previous governments.
Seems likely. And he was a guy that was installed anyway, so it's not like they have uber loyalty to him. And why would you? With what he's done to your country and what he's done to your freedoms, why would you have loyalty to that?
That's where it's changing. That's where you've already had the protests.
And you see the polling match it, too.
And I've heard this from people that are big into Ukraine when they tell me about how, well, it was the people that rose up and put him into power. Well, they rose up again. He's not what's been made out in the media.
No, the media, he's a darling. Oh, my gosh. How many news stories have we seen of networks just fawning over him, talking about how great he is? And, man, he went from Dancing with the Stars Ukraine to the leader of the Free Ukrainian movement.
I get to say that he's Morning Xtra zone. So John Andrasik of Five for Fighting, when he joined us, like 3 years ago, he wrote a song that he went and performed in Ukraine, and it was basically an ode to Zelensky song. I think he looks back at it and he's like, yeah, I got fooled on that one.
You know who else did that? Brad Paisley.
Yeah.
Same thing. I think he used Zelensky's speeches inside the song.
Yeah.
You don't hear much about that.
No.
And Brad's a lib, but
Andrasik is not. He's looking at it as he bought the whole idea.
It was easy.
It was a war to save Europe, and here's the guy who's keeping them at bay. That's not the case.
Yeah.
It's not what it was.
It was easy to fall
for.
What
it is.
The messaging was out there. It was such an all-out assault campaign to convince you to support Zelensky in Ukraine.
How weird was it? Maybe it was just because I lived through 2020 where I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait.
Yeah. Question everything. That's the way I live my life. Expect the worst, hope for the best. A Democrat governor gets called out on Meet the Press, of all places. I know, I was shocked too. Next, after a Fox News update, and a Neil Bortz report too.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
You've probably heard about this, but it's a pretty incredible story, so you're about to hear more. Falcons versus Detroit, Friday night, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I think they call it. Nathan Carter got a good hit on the Lions' Maurice Norris. A good enough hit that Maurice Norris had to leave the field in an ambulance. It's an exhibition game. The score doesn't really count. So the players decided, with about 13 minutes left that they were through playing for the night. They snapped the ball and stood there in a circle, praying, talking to one another, all the while the clock is running. There was not going to be another play. The concern was about Maurice Norris. Now, I'm not an NFL fan, not after Colin Kaepernick, but I thought this was a class act, and I said so on Facebook. And here come the comments. Somebody named Joe said, a family doesn't pay $500 to watch a game get canceled. Okay, it wasn't canceled. It was suspended. Another guy says, is this the norm now? Try taking a family of 4 to a football game with all the expenses. Even these exhibition games are expensive. I would have left unhappy. It's football. They get hurt. Play the game. Now, if I may disagree, your children that you took to this game witnessed an exhibition of sportsmanship. Football players showing class, something you, as a parent, apparently can't do. They saw sportsmanship instead of a final score, respect instead of a final score, honor instead of a final score. A much-needed good moment in professional football. If you don't think so, you're the loser. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Modular and offsite construction is booming. If you're an architect, building engineer, supplier, developer, or contractor, you can't miss the Offsite Construction Summit, returning to the International Convention Center in Atlanta on August 19th. With the rising cost of traditional building, modular and offsite construction is changing the way companies build housing, retail, healthcare, restaurants, and more. So don't miss the Offsite Construction Summit on August 19th. This is your opportunity to create new business and learn from the industry's best. Register today at offsiteconstructionnetwork.com. That's offsiteconstructionnetwork.com.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
The U.S. and Russia can't make a peace deal without Ukraine's involvement. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what European leaders are saying as foreign ministers meet today ahead of Friday's summit in Alaska between President Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
The president has spent much of the last 8 months pressuring both Ukraine and Russia to reach a deal to end the bloodshed. In recent weeks, though, Trump became much more critical of Moscow, claiming the Russians were not doing much of anything to end the conflict. So far, Ukraine's president not planning to be there in Alaska for this summit, but President Zelensky is watching closely. He said on Sunday, "We understand Russia's intention to try to deceive America. We will not allow this."
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. Israel is getting a lot of pushback to its plan to escalate the war against Hamas, planning to take over Gaza City. French President Emmanuel Macron said this morning it is a disaster waiting to happen. But acting U.S. Ambassador Dorothy Shea told a skeptical UN Security Council,
"The United States has been working tirelessly to free the hostages, end this war, and give civilians in Gaza a future free of Hamas."
In a few hours, President Trump will further detail his stepped-up law enforcement to fight Washington, D.C. crime.
The Washington Post reports the FBI is also reassigning more than 100 agents to overnight shifts to help local police, and a decision to call up the National Guard could come later on today. D.C.'s mayor says the city's crime rate is down 20%, though, compared to last year.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. It is sentencing day in Maryland for an illegal immigrant turned convicted murderer who killed Rachel Morin, a mother of 5 who was out jogging in 2023. Her mom, Patty, just told Fox, "It's been hard to write what she'll say at today's hearing."
How can I put the value of her life, reduce it to ink and paper? And then how do I feel about this person and what he's done to take that life away?
Victor Martinez Hernandez faces life in prison, no chance of parole. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with iZurvey, you can
slow it down.
get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Extra 106.3 and Fox are red. CNN and CBS are blue. If you want conservative news and talk, we have just the app for you. Search for the Extra app wherever you download apps.
Tug and Los until 10. Thank you for being here. 404-741-1230 is the number. At Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. A big weekend for Los and his family.
You're so lucky.
Why do you think that?
Well, more like the listener.
Oh.
That you and I are here at 6 a.m. with Jure, and we're ready to deliver.
That's right.
So you're 2 hours in, and so far, we have delivered.
That's all we've done. That's all we've done. We've been vindicated a couple times.
And we promised 2 more hours of potential delivery.
Yes.
We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the goal. That's the goal every day is to deliver.
Can I tell you...
Like Stetson Bennett, man. Like the mailman.
The mailman delivered. He delivered over the weekend. He played well. Can I tell you that I did think about this over the weekend? I drove past it. I was going down Holcomb Bridge because, both my daughters are at their volleyball facilities and doing their thing. And so I passed, what is it? Star something, whatever. It's like the adult place.
Stars and
Starship. Starship. Yeah, over on Holcomb Bridge.
What? You answered that really quick.
It was on the right side. I was like, Starship. Okay. And I thought, I wonder if they have one of those things that if I threw it during the middle of the Kimmer show. And then in my mind, I went, well, this is a professional environment. You can't throw one of those things at Kimmer. And then in my mind, I went, but what if it was a cucumber? Like, then, it would be more acceptable, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because then you're just...
Then it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was like, why'd you throw that? Like, if you threw a banana at a show, okay, it's not going to be so strange.
Just sneak in, drop it like a hand grenade.
And just be like, ooh, cucumber.
And then run out the door.
And then leave. But you can't actually go over to Starship and buy something like that because, that could possibly be an HR violation.
Leave it on keyboard. Poor Kimmer comes in, he starts to log in. He's like, oh!
What is that?
What is this? Who in the world? Who went to Starship and left this on my keyboard?
So something I just pondered over the weekend.
But leave a cucumber there.
But I had to think about it a lot. I had to ponder this out.
We didn't see any more sightings over the weekend, did we?
No.
I don't remember any.
No, but...
I think we're due.
We are due. It's a big week. This is a big week for the WNBA and the betting circles. We'll see. We'll see what the next one is.
Will they be able to get it done?
The next, I heard it on. I'm trying to remember what was the show. It might have been Glenn Beck where they called it a marital enhancement, which was a funnier thing than I thought of.
Yes, that's exactly.
I was like, that's actually really funny.
That is
a marital enhancement.
A marital enhancement tool. Dude, that's the greatest name I think I've ever.
So that's the new update.
So hopefully,
welcome to 8 o'clock Monday,
buddy,
everybody.
I'm telling you, off the rails on the crazy train already. It is. I don't. I've never been into a place that might sell something like that. So I would imagine relatively awkward carrying that up to the cash register. Even if you're saying I'm going to throw it onto an NBA court, WNBA court, or leaving it for the Kimmer.
Not unless it's your thing.
I know, but it just seems like it'd be odd, man. Hey, can I get this? It's like buying a Snicker bar. That's really common. Some people buy a candy bar or something, or some M&Ms, or whatever it is you like. If you take that to the front, I guess So
you're telling me that if we were to turn on your voice memo on your phone, and you go over to one of these establishments, and you have to buy, you're saying that you would make it awkward.
I wouldn't have to make it awkward. It would be awkward. It would be.
It's not awkward for the person selling it. I'm sure they sell it all the time.
Probably a lot of those off the shelf.
They probably do. But there's still that.
That reminds me.
What you gonna do with that, pal?
Did I ever tell you about the time? This now being probably about 5 or 6 years ago when our former coworker Brian Hoyt thought it was really funny when our operations manager, Scott McFarland, who's right across the hall from us, he had an Alexa unit in his office at the time.
I remember that, yeah.
And Hoyt would go in there and put sexual devices on it. Like he'd be like, Alexa, add, and then he would just say,
to the like to an Amazon account or something.
Right.
Ah, got it.
He did not know at the time that it was all tied into David Dickey's credit card, the owner of the company.
Wow.
Did they actually order any of it?
Well, that was the funny part. It's like they actually had to go in there and clean it out.
Oh my god!
They're like Hoyt, you were not in, but that's part of the reason why it's no longer in there. But I mean, it had lubes.
Oh my god!
It had all sorts
marital
of crazy
enhancements.
Marital enhancements. He just kept putting one thing after another on there, and so.
Did he ever learn that it was attached to?
That's how we found out.
Oh my god!
Because David apparently was trying to get something for the company. And was like, why is there all of this on the corporate account?
What's in my shopping cart?
Yes.
What the? Oh, my Lord.
It was all linked back to Brian Stavius Hoyt.
Dude, that is so Brian Hoyt. Like, there couldn't be a more Brian Hoyt example.
Than putting sexual devices on the company Amazon credit card, not knowing that it was the company
connected.
Amazon credit card of the owner of the company.
There's nothing more Brian Hoyt than that right there. So, I vaguely remember. I remember at least the conversation of, adding the marital enhancements.
Yes.
I do remember that part.
So just know that if you feel awkward about going up to the counter, Tug, to buy your marital enhancement, you can use Amazon.
Can you imagine, though, the next time you open Amazon? Because, it tries to base. There's an algorithm.
Right. Based on what you're looking up.
Can you imagine it's like,
your algorithm's going to be
messed up,
dude.
Yeah. Gallon of lube,
How are you hanging out with P. Diddy this weekend?
Exactly right. And then because you're, obviously my wife's connected to my account and she's looking at it, she's like, the hell are you ordering? What's wrong with you?
Mine are all vitamins, ankle brace, ice makers.
All right.
Makes sense.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Because you talked about having a small pellet ice here. Mine is...
and a massage chair. Like now it's trying to push massage chairs because I looked at one just as curiosity of the price.
Mine, we've got a speaker system.
Yep.
We've got pennants because we were looking for that. Oh, and it's telling me if I want to buy again, I can get my Rainstorm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you got to get your rain.
Yeah, put those in the loop.
I know what Jeray's is. It's just Zen.
It's just all the time.
Oh, if I can get it delivered? Come on.
Can you?
It's just cans of Zen. Now I'm curious.
Now, they did suggest a Monster Rockin' karaoke machine. It's about $300, so I'm out on that. But I appreciate them thinking about me.
Oh, they do have
You
Zen.
can get Zen.
Zen can be delivered.
What?
Dude,
yeah.
You don't even got to go in anymore.
Hold on, I'm about to turn Prime back on. I'm going
to resubscribe to Prime, he says. They've gone up, though. The price is going to
I take it back. It's some other product that they have for caffeine pouches. I don't think they'll actually sell you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that ain't going to
NZE? Is this what you're seeing?
That's exactly right. I just saw that, yeah.
I'm looking at it now.
Did you know that, or did you just see it?
No, I'm looking at it now.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I've never even heard of NZE.
Mine's got button-down shirts and gifts for my girlfriend's friend's daughter because she was going to a shower, and she said, why don't we order it on yours so we can do the Prime thing and get the free delivery by tomorrow?
I got a vintage Travis Tritt shirt that's showing up.
Of course
at the
you
house
do.
today. It's a 1993.
Nobody buys stranger vintage country shirts than you.
Dude.
You're like, so I saw this one from Waylon Jennings, and I had to have it.
Dude, all the time. My wife's like, you bought another Waylon Jennings shirt? I was like, yes, I did. Back off. How many shoes do you got? If you want to talk about my Waylon t-shirts or any of my t-shirts, let's talk about your shoes.
And by the way, we had the Stitch Fix discussion last week.
Dude, did Stephanie not?
And over the weekend, our friend Stephanie sends us a post, and it's just her box of Stitch Fix that showed up. We're like, you can't stop it.
No, and which means there'll be one delivered to both of our homes very, very soon. If they're because they roll out monthly or whatever it is.
I expect to see it in the next 48 hours if it's not already at that home. Which I think my wife at this point, I think she runs out to the curb. To the doorstep to get it and immediately get it in the house so that I don't notice it.
Yeah, slide it under the bed or something, the box. Dude, I'm telling you. Dre, if you've not, I can't remember what you said on Friday. If you've not had Stitch Fix show up to your house, you just wait.
Just wait.
You put a ring on it.
It's coming.
I don't think she knows about it.
Oh, they all eventually know about it.
It hadn't shown up yet. A lot of anthropology bags, a lot of that free people stuff.
Listen, they take it up a notch because mine started with anthropology maybe about 20 years ago, and then she kicked it up a notch with Stitch Fix. Because at that point, it's being customized according to her dimensions rather than just buying what you're buying through anthropology. Nothing wrong with anthropology, but that's what it was like. Now I want it custom.
We're going to keep this a well-kept secret.
Yes. It's a good idea. Good idea for all.
Good luck with that. So the Democrats over the weekend were just on fire talking about redistricting. You wouldn't believe the person. Remember last on Friday when we finished off, we were playing J.D. Pritzker, and he was telling you how he's, they got to fight back and all this stuff. And Princeton University said, well, you're the most gerrymandered state in the country. It's not even close. And that's, of course, where the Democrats went to. And most Democrats, I heard a lot of Democrats over the weekend talking about how we're losing this fight because of the appearance of everything that's happening. You're not fighting at all. You're physically trying to cheat, and everybody's calling you out. But we called them out. You would expect us to call them out, but not Kristen Welker on Meet the Press.
It's surprising on Sunday.
You could have knocked me over with a feather when she said this to Pritzker.
Every major group that grades the fairness of congressional maps gives your state an F. Common Cause, a nonpartisan government watchdog, even says your map, and I'm going to quote, represents a nearly perfect model for everything that can go wrong with redistricting. And I guess the question is, you talk about preserving democracy. How do you preserve democracy if you're using the same tactics that you've criticized Texas Republicans for?
But as I say, what they're talking about is a distraction. The reality is that the violation of people's voting rights is what Texas is attempting to do. That's what's wrong with their efforts right now. And the fact that the president of the United States knows it and nevertheless is asking them to do it. That is what's wrong with what we're seeing right now. Democracy is at stake.
Democracy's at stake, so we must gerrymander the state so badly to save democracy.
So first off, I tell you the playbook is old and dirty and dusty. And you would think they've had a full week to see this, and they would come up with something better than preserving democracy. Because it certainly didn't work in 2024 when they were running against Donald Trump. It didn't work at all. So what else are you going to come up with? You've got to come up with something different than, well, we're trying to save democracy. All your save democracy, that's the dog whistle for we're just trying to maintain our own power.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all.
19% believe that.
That's it. That's all this comes down to. We want power to influence, and I will tell you, what you have learned, if you've studied any of this stuff when it comes to the redistricting and the gerrymandering, like we all know it goes on, but when it gets pointed out in Illinois, it's like how crazy it is. The communist doesn't stop. So if you just think to yourself, well, we'll just walk it up to this line, but we won't really carry through with it. The communist always carries through with it. So you better fight fire with fire. You better actually take it to them because the real honest moment, the communists can't raise money and they can't win elections without cheating.
Second thing I want you to notice about what he brought up, Los, because he brought up voting rights, right? He tried to bring, he's trying to prevent people from having the right to vote in Texas. That's what Abbott's doing. That's what Donald Trump's doing. Knowing that his state is the most gerrymandered in the country. Princeton University, not a conservative place, a bastion of conservative thought, says it's the worst in the country. What does that mean about the voting rights of the people in Illinois? I would bounce past that right back to J.D. Pritzker and have him answer that like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Right. If we're talking about what ends up being, 40% of the state, 44% of the state, yet they only have a tiny amount of people that are actually representing them, what do you have to say about that?
Nothing. He's going to say
Fatty.
Yes.
I hate to be so petty.
Oh, Fatty McGee.
Like when people tell me, J.B. Pritzker, he might run for president. I'm like, he too fat.
He's good. I hope he does. I hope
he ain't running anywhere.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
He might run after
in the same way that I was like, listen, Chris Christie can't win this thing. He's too fat. It's just what it is.
He might run after a biscuit. That'd be about it.
It's the reason why football coaches that are men of size, now outside of Andy Reid, now keep in mind, Andy Reid got that big. He was not that big when he started. But it's really hard to be a fat football coach because you're trying to be an authority figure and you're trying to ask for discipline out of all these people. When J.B. Pritzker is asking for discipline, yet he can't keep it away from his face.
Yeah.
Good luck.
He's going to be like the guy you showed me earlier. The 600-pound life.
The 600-pound man.
Yeah.
What he eats.
Dude, so Lo showed me a video, Dre, of this man who cannot get out. And we're just marveling. We're just at awe. Like, I have no ill will.
His diet was amazing.
Dude, listen to this. This is just breakfast.
Okay.
Just breakfast.
This is just breakfast.
2 biscuits.
Yep.
A huge full plate of mashed potatoes.
Wait.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I thought the same thing. Mashed potatoes for breakfast? What? And then 6 eggs, 5 steaks.
5 steaks?
This is breakfast. With cheese and meat sauce across the eggs and steaks. And then he tops it off with cake. That's breakfast.
This is a week's worth of food.
I stopped writing. I was like, that.
That was breakfast.
What? And this dude, it's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Oh, no, it's not. It's wonderful.
It's so sad, dude. That dude is. I'm so sad for that man. He's got bed sores. His family is waiting on him.
They feed him. His wife just constantly feeds him. And in fact, she goes. They were showing it. This again, my 600-pound life. She goes and makes a run to go get him burgers in the evening after he's had Chinese food, and he eats his burger so fast that then he wants hers, and she just gives it to him. Like, okay, here you go.
And his wife and kid have to nurture this, have to babysit this because he can't get up.
She's going to lose a finger.
It's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I said it to my friend Nick Cellini, our friend, because Nick loves delving into things that are dark and morbid, and
and it's definitely that. It was unbelievable, dude.
I wonder if Jure would take that 600-pound man challenge for like one day.
Just the breakfast alone.
Just eat the breakfast.
Have a hard time putting down 5 steaks in 24 hours.
If I got 2 biscuits in me, I wouldn't be able to eat for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Or at least till dinner.
2 biscuits, I'd be like, okay, I'm good.
A full plate of mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes are so filling. And I love mashed potatoes. We always have to do, the vegan version, which is we just don't use milk on them.
Yeah, sure.
But then and still, if there's one thing, if my wife really loved me, she'd make me mashed potatoes. She'd find a way. Instead, I get regular potatoes. Okay, fine. That's just how it is. But like a bowl of mashed potatoes, like that'd be heaven.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't need 5 steaks after that. No one needs 5 steaks after that.
It's always the last thing you put on your Thanksgiving plate because it takes up too much of everything else.
Yeah, the mashed potatoes is a filler. It's like, I might be hungry again for some more turkey. No, you eat your mashed potatoes and now you're happy.
2 biscuits, plate of mashed potatoes, 6 eggs, 5 steaks with cheese on them, and cake.
I just love that the video has really changed your world.
Dude,
watching that man scarf it.
I couldn't believe it. And then he complains to his wife and kids because he didn't have enough. What kind of mental state are you in? We have a mental issue, a mental health issue in America, and that's a huge part of it. Is that a TV show? Yeah. I've seen
it's on TLC.
I've never watched them because it's just so alarming to me. It hurts my soul to see that. It's terrible.
Ooh, you want me to, maybe a little bit later I'll get into some of the results of these people that they featured in the show.
Oh, like what happened to them ultimately?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I know the answer. I mean,
some of them recovered. You saw that woman on the bicycle.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yep.
She went from like 300 pounds to she got in great shape.
I love it, dude. When we were driving to church yesterday morning, saw this lady out. She looked like she was in pain while she was running. And I was like, good for her. She's toughing it out. She's actually trying to get things done. Good for her. I'm proud when I see people do that. Good Lord. Jerome Powell is always late. Next on the Morning Extra, 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Your Atlanta carrier expert, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Get the latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South. When you follow Extra 106.3 across all your social media platforms, find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Extra 106.3.
As you're leaving the house to head to work this morning, does your house still have the same pop? Does it still make your eyes bright? Does it still make you go, man, I love this house? Or would a little bit of a facelift, would that put you back in that frame of mind? So you love it like you did the day you bought it. That's what the facelift does at Southern Exteriors. And they can do a facelift to the entirety of the outside of your home if you need that. Roofing, siding, gutters. They can do porches, windows and doors. They do all that exterior remodeling and the millwork. Like there's a part of me and my wife would like to take our deck right now, extend it, make a porch out of it, and screen it all in. That's what the millwork thing is. So there's always something you can do. But I want that sparkle to be back in your eyes. And then on top of it, you'll save money by having windows that are energy efficient, doors that are energy efficient, siding that is in good shape, roof that is in good shape, doesn't leak. And maybe you don't need to replace the whole roof. Maybe it's just a repair, but they can do that too. And right now you can get 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any job at Southern Exteriors. Call them today. They're based in Jackson, Georgia, serving all of Metro Atlanta and have done over 200,000 jobs. That's the kind of experience that they have. Foreman on site. There's no fighting with the contractors about what's supposed to be done versus what is being done because the foreman makes sure that everything is done the way it's supposed to be. It's that simple. SouthernExteriors.co is the website, or you can call them at 877-9-SOUTHERN.
If you've been waiting for the right time to make the switch to electric, this is it. At Jim Ellis Chevrolet, limited time incentives on select EVs are here now, but only through September 30th, 2025.
That means if you've had your eye on an electric car, this could be your last chance to save thousands of dollars.
Whether it's the all-new Chevy Blazer EV, the powerful Silverado EV, or something in between, now's the time to plug in and move forward.
Plus, at Jim Ellis Chevrolet, we make the switch easy with expert guidance, flexible financing, and a friendly team ready to help you every step of the way.
Don't wait. Visit Jim Ellis Chevrolet today or head to JimEllisChevrolet.com to find out more. But hurry, these savings disappear after September 30th. Jim Ellis Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Back to school means back to traffic in Atlanta. If traffic mishaps land you in trouble with the law, it's important to know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. We handle bonds from local to federal for any jail in any city. And in most cases, we can have you or your loved one out in a matter of hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT. Or online at atlbail.com.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. That is, until they meet the Warrior Alliance. The Warrior Alliance goes the extra mile to reach veterans in their communities so they do not have to take this journey alone. With over 40 partners across 10 service areas, your donation goes a long way toward achieving maximum impact for a veteran and their family. Go to thewarrioralliance.org to donate today and commit to helping the Warrior Alliance change thousands of lives for the better.
Hey, it's Flounder here, and this month at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we're celebrating love with a full month dedicated to the trend-setting, award-winning designs of Gnome Carver and Crown Ring, two of the most iconic names in bridal jewelry. Whether you're shopping for an engagement ring or wedding bands, we've got the largest selection in Atlanta. Special offers all month long, and every piece is backed by our low price guarantee. Even on Gnome Carter's latest Luna collection featuring a patented pillow comfort interior. And here's something you don't want to miss. Wedding Band Weekend is happening August 15th through 17th for 3 days only. Buy one wedding band, get one half off on all wedding bands in the store. It's the perfect time to find your forever rings. Come see us on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, on Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta, or on Fisher Crossings Drive, Sharpsburg. And you can always shop online at SolomonBrothers.com and click Book Appointment for your private consultation with one of our expert jewelers.
the stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Monday, August 11th. Memorials continue for DeKalb County police officer David Rose after he was killed in the line of duty Friday during a shooting at the Center for Disease Control. Officials say Rose was new to the department and accepted high honors at his graduation. Rose was a father, husband, and Marine before serving as a police officer. The suspect was found dead at the scene. The investigation is still underway. Paulding County Police seized over $25,000 worth of drugs, including meth, magic mushrooms, and THC cartridges over the weekend. 6 people were arrested and a vehicle was seized. Police say they followed a community tip to make the bust. Brookhaven residents had a rude awakening Saturday morning as a small prop plane crashed into the front yard of a home. The plane was registered to a flight training school out of Peachtree DeKalb Airport. 3 people were rushed to the hospital. And Marietta City schools are showing some positive signs with literacy rates increasing in the district. Grades 3 through 8 showed an 11% increase in literacy over the past 3 years. School officials say that's due to increased staff, small class sizes, and focused tutoring for students who are behind in reading. Today's weather, showers with temperatures in the high 70s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
If it's the first, you can't point out that it's bad. If it's the very first time it's happened, you have to go along and say, man, this is the most wonderful thing ever. Because over the weekend at Truist Park, we had the first female umpire behind the plate. And the first call was a ball called a strike. That was the very first call.
It happened.
What? I was like, at least get your first call right. And it's not to say that the dudes are that much better. They're terrible too. But I was told
it's going to fit right in perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to go right the way it's been going. But I was told that this is the most monumental. I was told this is the greatest day of our lives. You know, wonderful. I even heard family members raving about it, how wonderful it is, how progressive it is, how great it is. And for the first called strike was a ball inside, and it wasn't even close. And that, look, it benefited the Braves. We'll take it. But wow, don't tell me how great it is and it not be great at all, because that's the way it went.
I'm trying to actually find, because you always have ump scorecards.
Yeah.
And they will always like kind of break down, what their overall average is. Most of the umpires in the league, when it comes to calling balls and strikes, are like 95, 96%. Mm-hmm. But you will have guys that'll have like a tough day and they're 91%.
Yeah.
So it's like 9 out of 10, a little more than 9 out of 10 they always get. And so that's pretty much the standard. You just want to make sure that for the most part, that's what you're doing. You're putting up the numbers.
And I'm sure she did. Yeah, I bet she falls right in line with everybody else. But to celebrate it and then get the first call wrong, there's a little bit humorous in there. When I brought it up,
telling you,
nobody laughed but me.
Inside fastball, I just went, all right, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
It's like everybody in the game, like it's unfortunate it was the first one, but it wasn't strike 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys get really upset when it's strike 3.
For sure. But I'm telling you, I brought it up and I had a chuckle at it. No one else laughed with me. Los, I was by myself, laughing by myself, and then finally just let it go because they were not trying to hear the
they don't want to listen to your nonsense.
They didn't want to laugh with me. But it's like I said, it's not just the lady there behind the plate gets it wrong sometimes. All of them do. But a 90% clip is pretty good. I don't think I realized it was so high.
Like, okay, Lance Barrett yesterday. This was in the athletics game with the Orioles. Overall accuracy, 98%. And he had 3 missed calls on the game. And so what it does is it gives you an overall factor of like who is weighted. So for instance, the calls went in favor of Baltimore, who lost 11-3, but it was a 0.1%. So it's nothing. Like that's what you want.
Yeah,
that's like that's an excellent game behind the plate.
I do look forward to seeing what her scorecard will tell you. I bet it's right in line with all that.
I'm looking around. I want to see if I can find this one.
They told me I had to.
They may not have posted it. They may have just been like, you can't find it.
Not yet,
We're not making it available to you.
Not yet. She was nervous. She was a little nervous. But that's the thing. Like I don't care who's behind the plate. It didn't. I mean, it just doesn't matter to me. Like it was celebrated as it was just some victory, and I was just like, okay, you got another person behind the plate. Who cares?
I've got it here. She went 139 for 152, 91%.
There you go. So it's right in line.
Right in line with where everyone's at. Yeah.
But I can't help but laugh just a little bit when the first pitch was wrong. Right out of the gate. This is the greatest day.
Phil Cuzzy on August 8th was a 98%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
There's some people just say, hey, they do well behind the plate. It's just what it is.
Jerome Powell has not ever done well. It doesn't seem like.
Jerome.
Jerome, that's right. He continually gets it wrong, and he's been late on everything. And it's funny to me that you had J.P. Morgan Chase that said, hey, we will probably get a rate cut in September and 4 total by the end of the year. That's what J.P. Morgan Chase is expecting. Now, there was a guy that runs Azoria Partners. He's a financial firm. He was on Fox News this weekend, and I want you to listen to the comparison he made about Jerome Powell. Listen to this.
Jerome Powell is the Anthony Fauci of economics. He is wrong, smug, and completely unaccountable. As EJ said, this guy has too many failures to count. The most recent of which is he was too late to raise rates in response to the Biden-Harris inflation. It was President Trump in the summer of 2021 who was telling Jay Powell, inflation is here, raise those darn rates already, and he didn't. And of course, now that President Trump has completely defeated inflation, Jerome Powell won't do the right thing. The right thing, Kevin, is lower rates so folks can get mortgages all over this country. I meet families across my home state of Florida who have done everything right. They've saved up, worked hard, played by the rules. They can't get a mortgage because rates are too high. That is at the feet of Jerome Powell. He has to fix that.
Dude, that is the ultimate slap in the face when you're called the Dr. Fauci of the economic world.
Anthony Fauci of the economic world. You can't criticize me. You'd be criticizing science.
That's right. You can't. The science is settled. Don't you know? The science is already settled. But it's not wrong. He's not even off base, man. He's exactly right. Jerome Powell continues to play politics. And I think at this point he's probably felt the pressure. And that's the reason J.P. Morgan Chase feels comfortable saying we're going to get four rate cuts by the end of the year. We've not gotten one all the way to over the halfway point.
It's going to be very frustrating when you get a quarter point every time.
That's what's coming.
It'll be quarter point. Whereas you really should be, I think right now we're at like 4 something. We really should be closer to like 2 something, like 2.5.
In this scenario, though, I think people are so hungry to be able to try to buy a house, to afford a new home, that they're just eager to get anything, to see movement. And that's going to send a jolt through the economy because people are going to be willing to buy, but willing to spend.
There is right now no market when it comes to refinance. There's just
it's dead.
The refinance market is dead. In fact, all there is a recast market. And for those of you that don't know, well, we haven't even done it yet because I've been paying attention to the rates. So here are my 2 options. I can recast my loan by taking, in this case, what most of the lenders will allow you to do is some will let you recast at any point and as many times you want. Some will only let you recast a few times, and it has to be a substantial sum, typically plus $10,000. But you get to pay down your principal, so it changes your mortgage, but your interest rate remains the same. That's how it recasts. So my challenge is, do I recast and stay at the same rate while paying down the principal, or do I let the rate fall and then refinance with a lower rate? And so that's the game. That's really what you're playing.
Like my wife,
I'd rather owe less interest.
Yeah, of course, because that's just wasted money. You're just giving that to somebody. I think my wife and I, our rate is at 2.8.
I was at 2.75 my previous home.
Yeah, and I just did a quick refinance rate, and this is 10 best mortgages updated this morning. The 11th.
6 what? 7 what? Oh, really?
Dude, Quicken Loans, Amerisafe, Rocket Mortgage, New American Funding, Lending Tree, 93, 92, 96, 96, 94.
And is that on 15-year? Or what's a 30-year? Because now I'm curious what a 30-year fixed is at this point.
This looks like... Yeah, it didn't even say. I think they're probably embarrassed to say it. Okay, 30 years, so that must be a 15 because the 30 is 6.89.
Yeah, that's about right. It's you're going to find it anywhere from 6.5% to 7%.
Dude, so, but for the fact that that's the first thing that pops up is the 15-year, that would scare anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even go forward to find out what the 30-year was after I saw that. I would be doubling, even if I did a 30-year. I'd be doubling, more than doubling, what my current rate is. So that's why that market's dead, and that's why Jerome Powell is so late again, and he's getting called out. Donald Trump's putting pressure on him, and now they feel like he's going to move, but he's doing it much too late. Because now we've got to wait. Like if my wife and I wanted to use some of the equity in our home, I can't imagine what that rate would be. I wouldn't even entertain doing it. And I don't think many Americans would entertain doing it. Los was in such a unique position when he was able to sell a home and use that equity to buy into this new home. So, and he has the ability, as he explained, to potentially recast when he gets in a good position. But outside of that, man, who's signing up for this?
This is where it's the first-time home buyer is completely screwed. That's the problem.
And younger Americans are so hosed.
We had the better part of 20 years of home ownership, and to build up that equity to, at that point, when you purchase what you're going to purchase and roll in over to the next house, that's the nature of what is going on. That's why there's such frustration with younger people, because you've always believed, like if you had the upbringing, hey, got a home in the suburbs, live with my parents, they've been married for 20, 30 years, they have this home. You kind of model your life after your parents of, hey, they did well, I want to do well. And part of that is I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get educated, whatever I choose to do, and then I'm going to buy my own place. And to know that last part is so out of reach right now.
We were driving home after dropping our son off at Augusta University and just, projecting what might he do when he graduates college. And I told my wife, and she was a little surprised. I was like, well, he's going to move home. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, that's what every kid does. That's what the majority of kids are doing after they graduate college. They're living with their parents. We know 2 that are doing it right now.
It used to be rare, I believe, and we talked about this when we had 2 of our interns that were here. The numbers basically show that you're closer to 70% of college grads move home for at least a small amount of time. Some of them long term, some of them just to kind of get things rolling. I never did. Like I was done. I mean, you were on a naval ship. It's like you were never going back to Dalton. You were like I ain't never coming back here.
Well, no. Strangely enough, I did for a month. Like I literally moved home because I hadn't bought anything. I had the money in the bank. I'd saved well. So I was like, okay, I got to come home. I lived at home for a month, got myself situated and rented the first place. But it was merely because I wanted to just find my bearings. I hadn't lived there in 4 years. Was I going to be able to find a job? And I did right away. It was just a different place in 2000 than we are right now.
Yeah.
Because I went home for a month on my own. It was never because I couldn't afford anything. It's because I just wanted to figure it out and get that guidance from my parents, being a young man, for them to say, hey, maybe you should look over here. Here's a great place, new apartment complex, whatever it was that was helping me. And they was like, just stay here while you get that figured out. And then I went on. So I don't think it's uncommon to do it for a minute. But now, for 3 and 4 years after graduation, kids are doing it. They don't have any other choice.
If I remember correctly, I graduated, and I think it was like 5 days later I moved to Dallas. I graduated in Fort Worth, moved to Dallas, and then I was in at the radio station doing it. It was just, it was just suddenly I'm living in Addison, North Dallas. That was just kind of the reality of what it was. And so, but I still remember though, I would have friends of mine that would graduate, move home, and you were like, well, what happened? What went wrong there?
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is now typical. This is what it is.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Hard to get hired and placed and then have your own place. And even the rent, I'm telling you, this is the reason why illegal immigration has to end and you have to get so many people out of here. Because if you create a surplus of 10 or 20 million places that are available, everything drops.
Everything falls through the floor. And we're back to an economy where kids can excel, and especially young men, because that's the focus right now. They're having the hardest time. Make sure that they have the ability to get married, have a family, stay married, and live the American dream. That's what we want. And Jerome Powell's a big part of it, or a big problem preventing it. When we continue on Extra 106.3, those making decisions about your life in the courtroom have no judicial experience to do so. You will not believe the numbers of these judges that have no experience. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, August 11th. The Atlanta Braves end up taking 4 of 5 from the Miami Marlins and have now won 3 straight after a 7-1 victory yesterday afternoon. The Braves are off today before beginning a 6-game road trip, starting with a 3-game series in New York against the Mets beginning tomorrow. From the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons, they're back in action at training camp as of this morning, as the workouts are now back open and ready for the public over at Flowery Branch. Training camp practice today begins at 9:30 in the morning. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
The Morning Extra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM.
Good morning, it's Los. Let's talk about Howard Brothers and Steel Power Equipment. Summer, well, it's heating up, and so should your lawn game. Got to be able to handle that. Turn your yard into a summer paradise with powerful, reliable tools from Steel. And where do you pick those up? Howard Brothers, of course. Whether it's cutting, trimming, edging, Steel's top quality equipment is built to perform and made to last. Let the trusted team at Howard Brothers help you tackle your to-do list and make your yard the envy of the neighborhood for the entirety of this summer. Find one near you over at howardbrothers.com. That's howardbrothers.com. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Steel and Howard Brothers.
More than intelligent, it's thoughtful. Not just spacious, it's sensuous and stylish. And along with the sure-footed all-wheel drive, the GLC SUV is now available as an efficient, effusive, and effective plug-in hybrid. Get an exceptional offer on the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC 350e 4MATIC SUV. Just $489 per month for 24 months with $56.53 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details and see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through September 2nd, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details. Don't miss out as your Atlanta Braves face the White Sox and Mets August 18th through the 24th. Fans can look forward to 3 giveaways during the series, including the Spencer Strider vinyl record giveaway on August 19th, featuring music from some of Spencer's favorite bands, plus a post-game performance at the Battery Atlanta Green, hosted by Spencer. And on Friday the 22nd, join us for a special alumni night, presented by your local Ford dealer, to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the 95 World Series Championship. Check out the pre-game alumni parade down Battery Avenue, featuring fan favorites like Greg Maddux, Fred McGriff, Javi Lopez, and more. And then receive a 95 World Series replica ring presented by Coke. Then we keep the fun rolling on Saturday with the first annual hunting and fishing night, including some fun activities courtesy of the Georgia Department of Natural Resources in the Battery Atlanta, and a camo rope hat giveaway presented by Realtree. Get your tickets at braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Hey, this is Tom from The Honest Car Guy. We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly. We guarantee each vehicle we sell will come with a copy of the bill of sale, showing what we paid for it. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. guaranteed. Honesty is the best policy, and we guarantee it. Finally, a pre-owned car and truck buying process that you can trust.
Get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
Don't let your afternoon drive get bogged down with traffic and weather breaks. Just enjoy the Kimmer Show from 3 to 6 p.m.
They hide behind their keyboard. They hide behind this. They accuse everybody else in social media doing that. But so many of these so-called journalists will only speak their mind or show any balls when they're anonymously behind something. But when they're face-to-face with somebody, they're meek little mice.
Don't worry. It's only the Kimmer on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
I was surprised to see this number. 33%, only 33% of judges that were appointed by Obama and Biden are American born. They're all foreign born. 100% of them have zero judicial experience. So when you sit in front of a judge, they've never judged a case before until they were appointed by Obama and Joe Biden. Unbelievable numbers, dude.
Told you this was an overlooked factor. When we brought this up, maybe about 2 months ago, it's the first time we talked about how something that completely slid by us during that time period, we did not understand fully the types of judges that were being appointed by Barack Obama and then continued by Barack Obama during the Biden administration. The lack of, as you see what goes on when you have these. Here, I'm going to rule in this way in order to try and eliminate the president's power. Well, that's not constitutional. Yet these are not constitutional scholars. These are not people that have ever sat on a bench before.
And don't care.
No.
They're activists.
They're activists.
They were appointed to be activists.
Yes.
Because, like you said, it was a blind spot for us, man. We looked over it. And you see it over and over and over again with these judges, just like Boasberg overstepping his boundaries and getting slapped again by the Supreme Court and his rulings being overturned.
You just had DeSantis over the weekend when you had a judge rule, well, you have to stop operating Alligator Alcatraz. And he's like, here's the finger. Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, come get us.
Because recognize this is not legal. And it'll always take another courtroom to say, hey, you've overstepped your power. Like, you have no legal standing for this particular ruling. We've now gotten to the point, and this is damaging to our institutions. If there is a court ruling, that ruling should typically be respected. But that is not what has been going on based on whatever the goals are. And we can go back to the Biden administration, did the same thing. You had the Supreme Court that flat out told you the power of the purse belongs with Congress. You cannot just unilaterally cancel student debt. And what did Joe Biden say?
I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to
highest
do it
court
anyway.
in the land.
Doesn't matter.
I'm going to ignore it. In the way now that you have these federal courts, which, again, activist judges, but when they have a ruling, typically that has to be respected. We now are in a position where you have to go, yeah, we're going to let that play out in court, and we're going to ignore that ruling.
And it's crazy to me because there's so many Americans who were born in other countries, came here and absolutely love what this country offers and has done for them. I'm going to give you an example. We had a man on the Warrior Alliance podcast, a podcast I do for the Warrior Alliance, which is the official veterans organization partner of the Braves and the Braves Foundation. We had him on. He was born overseas. He came to the United States, signed up, served in the Marine Corps. And when I asked him about his service to America, and I told him I appreciated it, he was like, oh no, I can never repay America for what it has done for me. That's what the man said to me sitting in this studio when we recorded it, and I was so blown away by it. I even told him, I was like, dude, God bless you for recognizing what America means and what it's all about. And then the flip side is like Ilhan Omar And I'm sure you've seen Dalia Ramirez, who is a Guatemalan first and an American second. She said that out loud. She's a representative in the government.
Who was born here, by the way.
Yeah, but says she's Guatemalan first because her mama is from Guatemala.
She was an anchor baby.
That's exactly right.
And yet, as an American citizen, it's like, I'm Guatemala first. I'm like, hold on a second.
But even worse is that she's representing other Americans.
Even worse is that she'd be willing to actually say that out loud.
It's unbelievable, dude. But they've been so emboldened for the last at least 4 or 5 years, if not for the last 20 years, to be honest.
But it fits the model.
I know it does.
The model,
I know it does.
And we went through some of the numbers on this. The model is do not have pride in being an American. In fact, you don't even want to identify as an American.
Ever.
Because if you identify as American, it is on the outs with that particular party, with that particular line of thinking. Like, I would never sit back and go, okay, I would. I'm a Texan first. All right? I'm a Texan first. But I wouldn't be sitting back going like, I'm a foreigner of this country because my family origins come from Spain.
But Texas is part of America.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's a little bit different.
But we're different.
Yeah, but they are, absolutely. I always say...
In the way that West Virginians are different, okay? I love West Virginians.
Me too. God, they're great. I always say Southern by the grace of God. You know what I mean? American by birth, Southern by the grace of God. So I have an allegiance to the South because I was born and raised here. It means something to me. Being Southern means something to me. But I never say, you know, that I don't love America because of that. No, this is a huge part of America.
But there is a faction and there is a thinking that because you say, I'm from the South, there's a way of a lifestyle with that. And there's a pride aspect that goes along with that.
100%.
That when you say, hey, I'm from the Midwest, it's different. And again, your wars are won by patriotic Americans in the Midwest and the South. That's what it is. But it's a different mentality.
It is, without a doubt. The things that they are saying.
But you never said, well, I'm from another country.
Yeah, ever.
My allegiances are to Guatemala. I'm like, Guatemalan Tug again.
What?
Man.
That just rots the soul of America, if you ask me. And if it tells me anything, it tells me we need to enforce the oath of office for politicians and judges the way we do with the military. If you break your oath of military service, your allegiance to the Constitution, you are punished. And it should be the same way with politicians. They should be held to the same standard as our military members. If you break the oath of office, you got to go.
All those Texas Democrats would be AWOL.
They would be, absolutely right. They deserve to be punished. No different than someone who's AWOL in the military. And that's the reason I bring it up. Why are they held to a lesser standard? They actually have more influence than someone in the military. They actually set law. They set regulations for you and me and everybody else. They have the ability to do that, and they're not punished the way a military member who's nothing more than a shield for your government and for you. They would have to take a bullet because that's what the oath requires. They have no influence on what happens to you, and they have a stronger oath of office obligation than somebody that runs a campaign, becomes a representative. That is BS if I've ever seen it, and it needs to change.
I thought about this over the weekend. It's like I said, you and I didn't talk about this beforehand, and so I'm glad you went down this road. Recognize that people in Congress have to take an oath of office.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
And so somebody like Adam Schiff, who has taken an oath of office, and you think about the amount of the stature he's held between Congress and then being in the House and then in the Senate. He's violated that oath constantly. And yet it's just until now with mortgage fraud that like he'll actually be held accountable for it.
It's nuts.
It's like oaths are different to different people. Like if you take an oath that's serious to you, it ain't serious to everybody. And that's the part that's frustrating, especially when you're in a position of power.
Oath of office for members of Congress is to pledge a support and defense of the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. If you're pledging your allegiance to a foreign entity, you've already broken it in the first lines.
What happens when you are undermining the very person, the very entity that you got an oath on?
You've got to go. Either that or you're punished no different than someone in the military would be. That's the only right answer.
Can I give you good news to start off the 9 o'clock
please,
hour?
Yeah.
I'll do it 9 o'clock. I'm not doing it now.
No, I thought, okay.
No,
good,
it's
absolutely.
a tease.
Oh.
Strong tease for those of you who like throwing fists.
Good news is coming your way. And now the Democrats are saying aloud what they've always said quietly. Next on Extra 106.3.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
You've probably heard about this, but it's a pretty incredible story, so you're about to hear more. Falcons versus Detroit, Friday night, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I think they call it. Nathan Carter got a good hit on the Lions' Maurice Norris. A good enough hit that Maurice Norris had to leave the field in an ambulance. It's an exhibition game. The score doesn't really count. So the players decided, with about 13 minutes left, that they were through playing for the night. They snapped the ball and stood there in a circle, praying, talking to one another, all the while the clock is running. There was not going to be another play. The concern was about Maurice Norris. Now, I'm not an NFL fan, not after Colin Kaepernick, but I thought this was a class act, and I said so on Facebook. And here come the comments. Somebody named Joe said, a family doesn't pay $500 to watch a game get canceled. Okay, it wasn't canceled. It was suspended. Another guy says, is this the norm now? Try taking a family of 4 to a football game with all the expenses. Even these exhibition games are expensive. I would have left unhappy. It's football. They get hurt. Play the game. Now, if I may disagree, your children that you took to this game witnessed an exhibition of sportsmanship. Football players showing class, something you, as a parent, apparently can't do. They saw sportsmanship instead of a final score, respect instead of a final score, honor instead of a final score. A much-needed good moment in professional football. If you don't think so, you're the loser. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
This summer isn't just hot, it's historic. Flash flood warnings are at a 40-year high, and it's not slowing down. Towns underwater, roads washed out, and in every crisis zone, the same scene. Crowds standing in line, waiting for bottled water, waiting for food, waiting for someone to show up and save them. They tell you that help is on the way, but what if it's not? What if help takes days, or doesn't come at all? You think the system's built to protect you? They can barely handle one emergency, let alone dozens. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be the one caught empty-handed. And right now, My Patriot Supply is giving away 4 weeks of emergency food. Just go to MyPatriotSupply.com to find out how to claim your free 4-week food supply and join millions of Americans who are preparing with My Patriot Supply. Claim your free 4-week kit today at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
Washington, D.C. will be liberated today. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump posted on Truth Social, writing that crime, savagery, filth, and scum will disappear. He's already sent in more federal law enforcement, and Fox has learned he may call up National Guard troops. And the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, said that ICE and Border Patrol will also be involved.
Over the weekend, cameras captured some federal resources already on the ground responding to some crimes in real time as they were occurring around D.C. And to give you an idea of what police are facing, look at what happened over the weekend in Navy Yard. That's right near our ballpark where fights broke out. Someone fired gunshots. This is supposed to be one of the nicer areas in the district. A juvenile curfew was later put into effect around Navy Yard.
That's Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. Overall, crime in Washington, D.C. is down 7% this year. Police say violent crimes dropped 26% from last year, but there was a surge in homicides and carjackings from 2021 to 23. European foreign ministers are meeting today. They've been saying there can't be a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine without Ukraine at the table, ahead of Friday's summit in Alaska between President Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
The president of the United States has to be the one to kind of bring these two together. We're, of course,
course, going to talk to the Ukrainians.
And Vice President Vance also tells Fox Sunday Morning Futures the goal is
they can live in relative peace where the killing stops.
Israel keeps getting pushed back to its plan to escalate the war in Gaza. France's president's calling it a disaster waiting to happen as Australia joins other countries ready to recognize a Palestinian state. But U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee tells Fox
the next move really is one that Hamas has to make. They're either going to have to walk away, disarm, and let the hostages go, or they're going to have to face the consequences.
Dozens of Democratic Texas lawmakers are still out of state to block a congressional redistricting that benefits Republicans. Governor Greg Abbott tells Fox
if they show back up in the state of Texas, they will be arrested and taken to the Capitol.
They say they've broken no laws, and Democrats say they're standing up for democracy. America's listening to Fox.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
You're right, and so are we. Welcome to Extra 1063.
Tug and Los until 10. Made it to the end of the railroad tracks. So you can just never tell which way the show goes after 9 o'clock. It is it's a different animal altogether. If you're in the 4-hour club, you probably already know this. But if you're not, welcome to the 9 o'clock hour. We do have some good news that Los is going to share with us. So we've got some other news about Democrats saying something that they've always done out loud that they used to keep really, really quiet. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999, 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. What is the good news, Los?
First off, Anthony Hernandez, won over the weekend. He's the 10th ranked guy in the UFC in their ladder system.
Didn't they just sign a huge deal with Paramount? Totally off subject, sorry, but that I just saw
totally on subject. So I enjoyed watching the free stuff that I was able to watch, and I have been a subscriber for now the better part of 5 years to their subscription package, which means pay-per-views and everything else. And it can get pricey at times, especially if you don't watch it, but I've made it a point. I'm like, I'm going to try and watch all of them whenever I can.
Sure.
So the deal is now done, announced in the last 45 minutes. UFC has a deal with CBS/Paramount. $7.7 billion for 7 years.
Good heavens.
All events free.
Right. Dude, they've just opened up the market to eyes that they've never had before. It does nothing but increase the brand.
All events free. Can't beat that. No more pay-per-views. Like, that's the kind of money with the sport that's growing. And so me and Fluffy were like high-fiving this thing today.
Let's go.
Me and Fluffy Hernandez.
You know what's crazy? That is going to make CBS and Paramount incredible amounts of money, dude. The amount of money that they're going to make, even though they're spending that kind of money, the amount of money they're going to make in revenue and eyes and advertising dollars. Now think about it. Juxtapose that with what Stephen Colbert was doing, losing the company $40 million a year.
It wasn't like they weren't willing to spend billions.
Yeah, it's clear that they were.
But you better make your money.
Give me something worth watching. Give me something that people will actually engage with.
And if there is a sport outside of the PGA that is, and college football, that is wildly popular when it comes to our side of the aisle, it's UFC. I mean, you can't have Donald Trump walk into any one of those buildings without the entire place going ape-ass.
Just explodes.
And beyond America, it is global. You see when they go to other countries or when a particular fighter shows up, all those flags in the audience, people love this all over the world.
Some of the best fighters in the world, obviously Eastern Europe, but you have like what's grown. You have Jordanian fighters. You have Chinese fighters. You have Japanese fighters. Obviously, you have the large amount of American fighters, Irish fighters. I mean, it's all over the world. And so to now see no more pay-per-view, which that's going to benefit you next July. When we get to July 4th and they're going to have a 30,000-seat fight at the White House.
Yeah. Holy cow, dude.
Because that screams pay-per-view. In this case, it will not be if this deal goes into effect as quickly as I believe it's going to.
And it's crazy to think that CBS is not considering reworking the way that they do everything as far as politically, right? They've always been a left-leaning organization. But everything they sign up for lately is going the exact opposite direction. They're following the money, which is what capitalism does. It takes you to where the audience is. So, Stephen Colbert, there's no room for you to lose $40 million. And that small percentage of people that were whining and complaining about it, nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear from you. You're not putting out anything that is engaging enough for people to listen to your garbage. And so much so that they found the one that will and paid them $7.7 billion.
Now, let's be clear. NFL, it's a crazy number that the media writes for. It's $100 billion, right? NBA, they signed an 11-year deal. It's like $75 billion. The fact that you're getting nearly $8 billion for the UFC.
It's huge, dude. It's huge.
That's a monster number for a TV contract on a sport that's not considered part of the big three.
Let me ping you on this, though, a little bit, because the NBA number is a giant number, but it's failing right now.
Right. It's not producing the ad revenue.
So
right.
Does down the road, not even a far length down the road, a few years from now, does UFC become one of the big three? I don't know the answer.
I believe you're moving there. I think it's overshadowed boxing.
Without a
large
doubt.
extent.
Without a doubt.
Now, the purses are still monstrous in boxing, but the bigger fights in UFC can also do that. I think what people really appreciate is the meritocracy of the ladder system, in that you have to have a ranking and you have to continue moving up the ladder. There's not really a situation where if you're the champion, that you get to fight a bunch of tomato cans.
Yeah.
Like, they don't exist.
Little powder
they
puffs.
just do not exist. It's like you have to take fights against the other top fighters. And so the meritocracy system is alive and well in the UFC.
And I would say it's alive and well in the NFL. It's alive and well in a lot of...
Better produce.
Yeah, you have to. You have to produce, or it's not going to work.
And there's no such thing, and this is where I think this hurts the NBA. And I get it. You have older players, and so we had the term that came into play, load management. Load management is so that when I've got a guy who's 32, 33 years old, he's still playing at a high level at like 35, 36. We don't run his legs off. The problem is that when you're the one who shows up that night looking to watch Steph Curry and he's sitting on the bench or he's in street clothes, you get upset.
And then
there's no load management in UFC.
UFC doesn't play that game.
No, there's no load management in the NFL.
If you're the best, prove you're the best week in and week out.
Yeah. It's like I
don't know how the NBA continues with that.
If you're a busy fighter, you fight 3 times a year. Busy. Most of these guys are like 1 or 2 fights a year. But when it's like, I would imagine the card that we'll get on the White House lawn.
Dude, that's going to be fireworks.
It's going to be monstrous. It's going to be a huge fight card. And that's going to start with the prelims, the early prelims, and by the time we get to main event, like that 8-fight, 7-fight card is going to be huge.
I can't wait to watch it. I don't even watch UFC. And something that happens at the White House, I'm in for.
I'm going to have you come around to this.
For sure. For sure.
I'm going to send you the fluffy fight.
Yeah.
They're so good at making a spectacle and such a big event, too. Somebody is going to do the Rocky IV. Somebody is going to come down with James Brown playing.
And if they don't, they're missing a chance. They're missing an opportunity to be that spectacle.
They're going to nail it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They'll get this so right. They're planning right now, and it'll go on through the minute that the first bell rings. It is going to be like nothing you've ever seen before in your life.
So just let you know, like, how you're here because this is what we do. Clay Travis just tweeted out just when we started talking about this. Wow, UFC leaves ESPN for Paramount Plus and doubles its money per year in the process. Huge win for Skydance Paramount Company. Big loss for ESPN streaming. Add another streamer to sports fan cost.
Yeah, well, but I mean, you don't think? I mean, I know they've signed with Paramount, but
most of it, I think, is going to be CBS.
Yeah,
your biggest stuff you want on CBS. In the same way that big fights, ESPN puts it on ABC.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, but their model has always been ABC, ESPN, and then that rolls into the pay-per-view, and now they charge you for the pay-per-view. I would imagine that you're going to have most everything that are big fights, they're going to stay strictly on CBS because they'll do a number.
Just like
and the fights are Saturday evenings.
Just like the SEC on ABC. Mm-hmm. They know exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure that those networks stay relevant. And you have, for smaller games, definitely interesting games, but smaller games are going on ESPN, ESPN News, ESPN2. But let me tell you, I'm not trying to undercut anybody, especially Clay Travis, but with ESPN signing the deal with the NFL, they've not hurt themselves. No. I mean, they're going to be just fine. I'm no ESPN fan. I'm not ringing the ESPN bell.
But ESPN, their issue that they ran into, they signed the monster deal between Disney and the NBA. That's where
that'll go away.
Their numbers that have cratered. It's an 11-year deal. I mean, they're stuck.
No, but I'm saying when it gets to the 11-year, that's never renewing.
I mean, this is going to be one of those deals where you're going to look back and go like, okay, how much money did you get out of it? Were you able to take the politics out of the game? Because I do believe that between that and style of play, the NBA is in a bad way right now.
It's in a funk.
It's in a bad way. And I love the NBA. I watch NBA basketball almost every other night when it's on. But even I watch it and go, man, this is sometimes brutal to watch.
Yeah.
Because it really is.
You have to have
get to the rim or threes.
You have to have a passion for the game to watch it these days.
Yeah.
Where when we were coming up, man, I never missed an NBA game. When I was in high school, never missed. Maybe even through my Navy days, and then, I don't know, early 2000s, I started peeling. I watched some. And I still like it. I just don't love it like I did. I don't have any passion for it.
I looked forward to Sundays when you would get the NBA on NBC.
Yeah.
And I still laugh at Sir Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley had one of the funniest lines I've ever heard when it came to sports television. This was when NBC was losing the NBA, and it was going to ABC and TNT and everything else. And he said, maybe if y'all didn't invest in that XFL, you could have kept basketball.
That's right.
But he said it like at the end of a show.
Yeah.
Like as they were signing off, like, okay, here's like, okay, we're transitioning. It's been great that you've been with NBC.
Yeah.
It's now moving over to these guys. And he's like, maybe if y'all hadn't bought that XFL,
we'd have been in better shape. We'd have been in better position to keep these.
But yeah, give me as much UFC. Like I said again,
about to get a lot.
Really enjoyed the main event on Saturday night. So and then I've made friends with Fluffy. We follow each other on Twitter. That's the cool part.
Who's this again? I'm sorry.
So over the weekend, you had Anthony Hernandez.
Yeah.
This is Fluffy Hernandez.
Yep.
They call him Fluffy because when he was younger, he was pudgy.
Yeah.
So they called him Fluffy. This dude took his opponent apart on Saturday.
Just dismantled.
And they always have their handles. They'll have like, here's their page on X or wherever that they're on Instagram or wherever else. And I looked him up, and he's got like 51 followers. So suddenly, I'm now like his biggest follower.
That's funny.
I'm like, it's a good fight the other night. And he was like, thanks, bro. I was like, sweet.
There we go. New friend of the show.
New friend of the show.
We need to invite him on. Do you think he would come on?
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool.
I think so.
Sammy's in Alpharetta, 404-741-1230. What's on your mind, Sammy?
Hey, guys, this UFC news is interesting. The only people who care about UFC are these closeted MAGA homos.
I love
that. So that was the goal, huh?
Stuck by the goalie.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, Sammy. Why don't you come swing some gloves, man? We got a place right down the street, right?
Come on.
Not that big a deal.
What is the name of that place?
Oh, that's Pepper Boxing.
Pepper Boxing.
That's always the funny part about this to me. Is that like when you watch the UFC, it's just filled with dudes.
Yeah.
And even the women are dudes. Like they're ready to take you apart.
They're kicking tail.
Yes. Oh my God. It's such a. It's maybe it's because I fear the dudes that know jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Because all these guys and girls are black belts in that style, and I don't know if you've ever take it on like a wrestler or anything else. Like I had a college roommate, and he was a 3-time state champion in wrestling in Oklahoma. That dude was like 160 pounds, and he would wrestle against guys that were 200 pounds on our baseball team.
Yeah.
It'd be 10 seconds, and they're like tapping out, like okay, you got me. It's like, it was brutal. And to see how guys that have that sort of discipline, in terms of their ground fighting and everything, especially when it comes to jiu-jitsu, how you get to a point where it's a smaller man, yet he's dominating you. Like, you can't do anything against him.
Similar situation. In the Navy, dude, he was a radioman for the Navy SEAL battalion that was attached to Commander Carrier Group 6 where I worked. And he was the new guy, so he's trying to plant his flag a little bit. And he gets there, and he's talking trash to some of the Navy SEAL guys that are part of Comcar Group 6. And they're like, well, let's take it down to the gym. And they went down, and this dude was, I don't know, he's probably at least 6 foot tall, maybe 6'1", just big radioman. This Navy SEAL is about 5'10".
Yep.
And just has him wrapped
just
up.
Wiry.
Within about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He's turned into a pretzel.
Yeah. And screaming.
The fight is over.
And yelling.
Yeah. He's tapping out.
I had so I was telling you about my roommate who was 3-time Oklahoma State champion. And he was a freshman, sophomore, and senior. And I'm like, what happened your junior year? He's like, got a little lazy.
Yeah.
But then a guy that I had on our baseball team, he's All-American. And I ended up being a roommate with this guy when he was graduating. This guy, Sean Green. Sean's now a Fort Worth police officer. At the time in college, he was probably about 220. Now he's probably about 245, 250. Just a big bear of a guy. And you want to talk about, it took all of maybe 15, 20 seconds before he's slapping we're wrestling, it's goofing around before baseball practice, and he's slapping the grass like, please God, stop. Let me out of this.
Yeah.
And Darren Caruso, my old roommate, he's just sitting there. He's just got him in some sort of weird arm bar, and that was the end of it. Didn't take much.
But especially when you bring in, and I know nothing. I just know that I've seen guys in the military who worked on martial arts because of the discipline. They have so many layers of that in everything that they do. That way they don't turn into the lazy guy. That way they never have that misstep because they're so dedicated and disciplined to whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. And if you're a Navy SEAL, obviously that is defending the country and things that we'll never know that they've even done.
But I love that when it comes to that particular sport, the mixed martial arts, it's one thing if you can throw hands and you're like, hey, I'm an accomplished boxer. Man, if that's all you are, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's like, how many disciplines do you have in your bag? And that's, to me, watching that stuff, I'm like, that's really cool. So I'm looking forward to now getting non-pay-per-view fights that are coming up. And so everybody wins. We all win here.
Everybody wins. 404-741-1230.
$7 billion. We'll see you in the White House lawn.
Yeah, dude, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be so cool. And it takes Donald Trump to pull it off. Nobody's ever even considered it. There's never been a president ever to even consider it.
Telling you, him and Dana White have their deal going. And again, Dana White was the guy who during COVID was like, yeah, we're going to fight.
Yeah.
Like we'll go across the ocean.
We're not letting the pandemic.
Yeah, we'll go to UAE. We'll go fight over here. We'll go start Fight Island.
Our friend Joey Jones joins us next. He's got a great new book and just talking about everything that's happening from Georgia to D.C. to New York City, where he spends a lot of time. Next on the Morning Extra, Tug and Los until 10.
The Xtra 106.3 app is your live connection to the station, streaming free across Georgia. But it's also loaded with all our original shows and podcasts. Listen to exclusive shows from Janelle King, Ben Burnett, and so many more. Grab the Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
There's a tidal wave of clean car happiness sweeping across Braves country. Tidal Wave Auto Spa is your go-to car wash destination for a game day ready ride. Experience Major League Clean at Tidal Wave, the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves. Stay clean car happy all season long with membership discounts, exclusive giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com/Braves for details.
My car is happy. I am happy. Tidal Wave Auto
smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Now, I know there are plenty of HVAC companies out there, but let me tell you why Central Heating and Air Conditioning stands out from the rest. These days, it's hard to tell who's on first. Everybody wants to play. Many of the local HVAC companies, though, have been sold to large conglomerates. And some are even coming back under new names. But at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they never left the field. They've been your hometown team since 1947. And their dedication to our community has never wavered. They are the grand slam you can count on. Central's team of experts know the game inside and out, delivering dependable service and personalized solutions every time. So don't get caught off base. Choose the HVAC team that's always been in the game. Get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 770-GET-HEAT, or visit them online at centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
This is Tom with the Honest Car Guy.
Hey, what's with all this honesty stuff?
We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly.
How honestly?
We guarantee that each vehicle we sell will come with a bill of sale showing what we paid for the vehicle. You'll pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. Guaranteed.
No gimmicks or tricks?
Nope.
Man, this sounds like a new way to buy a car.
Get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Neil Borch here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs.etc.com.
Hey, it's Flounder here, and this month at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we're celebrating love with a full month dedicated to the trend-setting, award-winning designs of Gnome Carver and Crown Ring, two of the most iconic names in bridal jewelry. Whether you're shopping for an engagement ring or wedding bands, we've got the largest selection in Atlanta. Special offers all month long, and every piece is backed by our low price guarantee. Even on Gnome Carter's latest Luna collection featuring a patented pillow comfort interior. And here's something you don't want to miss. Wedding Band Weekend is happening August 15th through 17th for 3 days only. Buy one wedding band, get one half off on all wedding bands in the store. It's the perfect time to find your forever rings. Come see us on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, on Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta, or on Fisher Crossings Drive, Sharpsburg. And you can always shop online at SolomonBrothers.com and click Book Appointment for your private consultation with one of our expert jewelers.
Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume from New Nordic.
This is House Call for Health. August is Children's Eye Health and Safety Month. The American Academy of Ophthalmology says children are susceptible to many vision and eye problems, from injury to infection and increased nearsightedness. The Rural Health Association of Tennessee says a key aspect of the Awareness Month is promoting routine eye exams, because those regular checkups can identify common issues that could impact a child's learning and development if not treated, or worse, can lead to permanent vision impairment. It also stresses proper eye safety, like during sports and recreational activities. The association says up to 90% of those kinds of injuries can be avoided by wearing safety goggles or sports glasses. And one more part of the Awareness Month, the impact of digital screen time. With increased usage comes increased eye strain. That can have symptoms including headaches, blurred vision, dry eyes, which can all lead to comfort and productivity issues. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Monday, August 11th. Memorials continue for DeKalb County police officer David Rose after he was killed in the line of duty Friday during a shooting at the Center for Disease Control. Officials say Rose was new to the department and accepted high honors at his graduation. Rose was a father, husband, and Marine before serving as a police officer. The suspect was found dead at the scene. The investigation is still underway. Paulding County Police seized over $25,000 worth of drugs, including meth, magic mushrooms, and THC cartridges over the weekend. 6 people were arrested and a vehicle was seized. Police say they followed a community tip to make the bust. Brookhaven residents had a rude awakening Saturday morning as a small prop plane crashed into the front yard of a home. The plane was registered to a flight training school out of Peachtree DeKalb Airport. 3 people were rushed to the hospital. And Marietta City schools are showing some positive signs with literacy rates increasing in the district. Grades 3 through 8 showed an 11% increase in literacy over the past 3 years. School officials say that's due to increased staff, small class sizes, and focused tutoring for students who are behind in reading. Today's weather, showers with temperatures in the high 70s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. Joined on the show by our friend Joey Jones. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Buddy, we couldn't have it better even if we wanted to. We just continue to win like it's a
killing it on a Monday.
Dude, this show has gone by so fast, and we've been looking forward to talking to you about just the things that are happening around the world. I mean, we can even start, if you'd like, with the fact that Donald Trump is going to sit down with Vladimir Putin. Hopefully, you'll have Zelensky involved in the discussion. This guy is the worst dictator of all times, Joey. This guy has caused more peace in the world and given up more power than any dictator I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I guess if you're Democrats right now, you got to have something, right? You got to have something to attack him with, and that's been their line. It just isn't working out well for them, and I think midterms will go however they go. I don't think that's indicative of America. Donald Trump he's not on the ticket for the midterms, and that's a big part of it. But I think most Americans are seeing this stuff, and it's easily translatable wins, and I think that's what Americans want to see.
Joey Jones is our guest on the Morning Extra, and we talk about those wins. And when you start kind of taking a lay of the land and you see what the response has been of the Democrats, which is, well, threat to democracy, wasn't that the playbook leading up to 2024? That didn't work out well for them there either.
No, I mean, the more we learn, the more we know that what we suspected to be true, there's evidence and information showing it to be true, maybe even worse than we thought. But, I guess for most Americans, I think that if you're the Republicans in Congress or even MAGA supporting President Trump, I feel like you do worry a little bit. I struggle with this myself. How much does it matter? I expect politicians to be, all of them, just a little bit corrupt, a little bit of, playing the game they can play. And I think we accept that a little bit too much. So then, we find out that Obama had played a hand in this Russiagate, and there's a lot of damage there to our country. But at the end of the day, President Trump survived it enough to become president again. And most Americans understand that it was a hoax. And so you ask yourself, is it worth spending the time and equity, and not equity, but equity, yeah. Collateral, investigating it, making it a headline, when we could be talking about the things President Trump's doing that are making our lives better. That's the scale. And there's not a right or wrong answer. It just depends on how what you consider to be a win. We don't want it to ever happen again, and we want those that have wronged us, the American people, to be held accountable. But if it comes across as a fully partisan effort, I just don't know that people have any more. I don't know it's going to rouse the crowd. And I don't know, going into the midterms, I want a Republican Congress that can keep getting stuff done.
Well, I feel like they've been able to accomplish that. I mean, closing the border from, 60,000 people coming across the border to 8 or whatever the number was most recently. I mean, that's a win. He campaigned on it, and he's done it. If you talk about the redistricting efforts, you got Democrats that are leaving Texas saying they're fighting. They're abandoning their oath of office, which is a segment that we talked about earlier. If this was a military member that abandoned his oath of office like that, he would be punished. These people get away with it scot-free. I think the American people lose interest in the Democrat Party when they have these things that they do to try to get attention, but it doesn't accomplish any goal for the American people. So I still think when you look at what's happening with Russiagate and the corruption that has to stop, Donald Trump still comes out ahead on that. Do you not see it that way?
I think that there's a difference between Donald Trump comes out ahead on that and Republicans come out ahead on that. when you have James Comer coming on Fox with us talking about it ad nauseum, and you're not ever seeing, what do we expect? We don't expect President Obama to be held accountable.
No.
We don't necessarily expect anyone that's a brand name in our houses that was a part of the administration to be in handcuffs and go to jail. I'd say probably some of the most surprising that's ever happened in my lifetime would be Paul Manafort or Roger Stone, people that were on the outside of the government, but a part of President Trump's effort to get elected that ended up going to jail. Those were big surprises. There might be others that I'm just not thinking of. And so if we, I guess it's about managing expectations and keeping your eye on the ball. I want transparency. I want sunlight. I want to know President Obama and Hillary Clinton played a role in Russiagate. I want to find a smoking gun that says they knew it was complete bullcrap. They're not there yet. President Obama has a certain amount of immunity that, ironically, the Supreme Court solidified for President Trump. And I just want to know that as long as Republicans in Congress can come and make headlines about investigating what happened 8 years ago, they can also come and make positive headlines about this bill they just passed. They can also make positive headlines about our border moving forward. They can also make positive headlines about if and how they're going to fund our foes and or fund our friends against our foes. And have that conversation too. I mean, you open this up talking about Vladimir Putin and what happened in Ukraine, and the big sticking point for most Americans isn't that they like President Putin or they think what Russia's doing is correct. Is it really our responsibility to pay for Ukraine to fight against Russia? And so these are topics that do affect my life today just as much as if corrupt politicians are corrupt. And so I'm just saying, I hope that going into, because listen, the House never stops campaigning. They never stop. And so, they're in a place right now where we're going to transition from that first 6 to 8 months of President Trump's presidency, where they actually get some legislation passed, to the next 12 to 18 months where they're going to be campaigning to be reelected again. And if that's the case, I hope it's for a good reason. It's not just to keep themselves in office.
Joey Jones is our guest on the Morning Extra. Redistricting, this is a new fight that I'm seeing out of this Republican Party or this MAGA group that comes from Donald Trump. But not only that, the idea of redoing the census, which there is nothing against it. The Constitution requires one every 10 years. You can do one every 5, 4 years, 3 years, whenever you want. What has your take been on this? Because I feel like we've been having a lot of our politicians lay the groundwork for this to go on.
Yeah, I think this is where I wish there was strategy involved. This is where I wish it didn't become a partisan fight. This is where I wish this plan to utilize the facts at hand to gain Republican seats was a longer game, not just let's do it right now, cause a big stink, and go into the midterms and hopefully win. Because the opposite side is you have Gavin Newsom saying he can find 5 seats for Democrats in California. I don't think it serves the American people to start using redistricting to like this. With that being said, I don't blame President Trump at all. I don't blame the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, at all. Like, it's not that they're doing something wrong. It's that President Trump has 3.5 more years of being president, and then he's out, and then he's retired, and however much he has of his life, he's not going to struggle. He may not do as well as he could. He may do better. We don't know, and he's not worried about that. I'm 39 years old. I've got to live in this country with good health for at least another 40 years of being involved. I want to know that what happens today doesn't screw me over tomorrow, and I want the governors of states, the legislatures, to take that into consideration. Unfortunately, you're asking people to do something they're almost incapable of doing, which is to do something for the greater good. So there are strong arguments against redistricting for the sake of grabbing seats, but they're not really truthful arguments, because that's what's going to happen whether it happens today or when the next next census happens. So it's not that we can get rid of this. If it were up to me, we would have some objective AI program that helped us create districts without having partisan politics involved. That doesn't exist. We already know objective AI doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist at all.
I don't know there's some way to do it fairly. So it's like, I wish we could create, it would be amazing if we had congressional districts that represented things like community or industry or, the movement of people. You know, like if you look at the Georgia maps, they're not horrible. It's like, okay, I see that's that I-75 corridor. Most of the carpet industry's there. That kind of makes sense to be a district. But wait, we're way over here on the east side where those people go in another direction to get their groceries and to take their kids to school. Like, that's the kind of things I want to create district maps, not necessarily who votes for which party. But listen, the Democrats aren't going to do any better. The Republicans don't have an incentive not to. And if somehow Abbott can grab 5 seats, that's going to be a huge pressure relief for a Congress that's going to be whittled down to, I think, a majority of one when the current retirements that are on the table happen. So there's a need for it. I just wish every now and then politicians would be willing to win the hard way and not the easy way, because the easy way always creates more problems.
No, I can see that a little bit, but there is that, what's fair is fair, what's right is right, and whether it is going after the people that made Russiagate happen, and we know by what's been released by Tulsi Gabbard and DNI that there was a concerted effort. It was pretty clear what was happening. Will anybody be punished? Like you said, we'll see. But I do believe if you don't go after these people, if you don't make an example out of someone, they will do it again. And then if you include the census, I mean, everything has been done to benefit the Democrat Party and leftist politicians. It was paid for through USAID. Now that that's gone, they're actually losing their cover, and they're not able to fight hard to prevent it again. And if you don't hold them accountable for doing that, they'll continue to squeeze the turnip. I just feel like if you don't do something, if you don't put your foot down, then you're going to be run over for the rest of time. This is your opportunity to fight back. And as Republicans and conservatives, we've never fought back in my whole lifetime. I don't feel like we've ever fought back until now.
It's going to happen again either way. That's the problem. That's what politicians do. I mean, it didn't stop with Nixon, right? I mean, we had phone recordings of Nixon, and the worst thing that happened is he resigned, and then we're back to business as usual. Not a lot changed. And so that's my point is, politicians are going to be politicians. The best thing we can do is put sunlight on it and give them less opportunity to do things behind the scenes. For me, accountability means we don't have federal bureaucrats in any agency that take things and put them in supposedly, I forgot what Tulsi called it, but basically a safe room and hope that the next administration doesn't find it there. That's the problem I want fixed. And I think that's what President Trump's cabinet is best positioned for. I really don't care if Obama or Hillary or even James Comey go to jail. I care that the next administration that comes in that wants to do that has less tools accessible to them to do it with. That's what I want to see happen. And for that end, I'm glad it's being investigated. I'm just saying, if you carry it as a torch and a pitchfork to go after your enemies, they're slimy, man. They have a way of getting out of it. I mean, that's the truth of our system. There's a mutually assured destruction where people only take it so far, because what if I have that same skeleton in my closet? And I'm not saying that's necessarily true about President Trump, but we saw what happened to him. I mean, they tried every which way possible to put him in jail. And, the truth is, if he hadn't won the election, it still would be a possibility. And I don't know that that's good for our country. I know that from my perspective as a conservative, a lot of the things they went after President Trump about was pretty petty. But when you're looking at what the Democrats did to President Trump on his way in office, that's pretty bad. That's pretty corrupt. But from a Democrat or a liberal's point of view, maybe what President Trump did was just as bad in their mind. Maybe it was just as corrupt. I don't know. I'd have to have that conversation. My point is, I want checks and balances on my government, not necessarily individuals. And I want to see that the Republicans have their eye on the ball to keep control of our Congress so that my taxes don't go up, so that my son doesn't go to war, so that the tax dollars I do spend get spent on things other than illegals hanging out in a fancy hotel, reaping all the social programs that I can't get for my mom right now because she still wants to work. Those are the things that I want to see happen right now today.
Joey, if I may, because everyone steals from me, and you're welcome to use this, because I use this on all my liberal friends, and it makes them crazy. I've told them all, had you just given Trump his $5 billion for his wall and stayed out of his wife's panty drawer, he's probably on to something else at this point. But because they didn't, now this is what they get. And I'm glad I'm here for it to watch him make them crazy.
No, you're probably not wrong at all. I mean, we talk about the border. Trump got elected on the border, and Democrats completely whiffed on that. But what you're talking about right now was Trump offered Nancy Pelosi in the first, I believe, year of his first term, about where we are now. I believe is when it happened. He offered her DACA, visa reform, and something else I can't remember, in exchange for building the wall, putting funding out there for the wall. And Nancy Pelosi basically said, you got elected on this. There's no way I'm giving you this win right now. So, they ended up finding their way around on DACA, and Trump found his way to funding some of the wall. So they both found a little bit of what they were looking for, but there was nothing was codified. Nothing became legislation. So it left it all up in the air. And then under President Biden, you saw what happened at the border. President Trump comes in and he shuts the border down, and Americans across the country, regardless of their political opinion, in the wake of Lake and Riley and Jocelyn Hungary and others that see the true heartache and just complete evil that can be a result of a completely open border, Americans are applauding that and rewarding it. It's still his strongest issue, even above the economy. And so what happened? Nancy Pelosi went for the quick win. She went for the feed red meat to the base win, and here we are 8 years later, and it's going to be codified. It's being codified. It's being changed forever, and she lost that battle. I guess if I were going to bring it back, that's kind of where I wonder about where Republicans are in the House right now. Like, I just want to see them go for that long-term win. What President Trump's trying to do, he's trying to change the nature of our economy. We have an economy based on 70% service industry, which means up to 70% of our GDP could go away if we just chose to do things for ourselves for a day or two. That's a big vulnerability. That's why manufacturing is important. And I just want to see that as they're campaigning again, basically, they can help carry President Trump's message as well as anything else they have going on.
Let's talk about your book, Behind the Badge. It is a great book, and there's stories of game wardens and firefighters, police officers, Border Patrol medics, SWAT team snipers, folks that have done what many wouldn't even consider. That is answer the call to duty. You did it yourself, as a matter of fact, in the Marine Corps. But these are great stories behind the badge, answering the call to serve on America's home front. The book is fantastic, and I hear that it is selling quite nicely.
Yeah, it did really well. I mean, we have that platform at Fox that we can really get a book in front of people en masse, but it's still just a small percentage of the American people, and it's amazing that the book has done so well for so long. That means that people are reading it, responding to it, and is suggesting it to their friends. The book starts out with two firefighters from Dalton, Georgia, so it's local. You can read about Keith Dempsey's time in Marietta, and for your audience, especially like, oh wow, I know exactly what he's talking about, or I remember that incident. But the reason why I wanted to write the book, the reason why the book was necessary, in my opinion, is, as a veteran, I've gotten a lot of pats on the back. I feel like the country may not understand what it means to serve in the military, but they respect it and appreciate it. I think part of the problem for first responders is it's a little bit too close. Like, it's a little bit too everyday that we take it for granted. We feel entitled to the service they provide. When we wake up in the morning and leave our home, we don't stop and worry and stress about if our home catches on fire, will somebody come put it out? If we pull up to a red light and it turns green and it's time for us to go, we might worry about an accident, but we don't worry about if somebody T-bones us, if somebody will come save our life and pull us out of that car. We don't worry about if we have a heart attack sitting in our desk, will medics show up and keep us alive? We know those things happen. We believe in them and we trust in them, and we don't put a lot of effort into thinking about what that truly means, that the worst days of our lives is somebody's shift. It's just another day on the job. And so the point of the book was to kind of remind people how lucky we are to live in a country where people wake up and they choose to go do this job. They choose to do it. They're not made to do it. They choose to. And the amount of emotional and psychological trauma that comes with it is pretty amazing. I mean, just look at it this way. I get my gear, I pack them in bags, I get on a plane or a boat, and I go overseas and I fight a war. I don't have to worry about those I love most being in danger to that war. And I don't come home to them every night reminded of what I'm trying to protect. So I can go check out, fight that war, come home, I'll leave that war in Afghanistan or Iraq, and I get to leave that. And every year that war gets further away. For men and women that serve as first responders, they take their kids to school to the same intersection they were responding to a fatal car wreck last night. When they come home and they hug their family, they know that everything outside their front door that they deal with could affect their family, could hurt their family. And just to think about the fact they never leave their battlefield for a 20, 30-year career. They live in it. It's their community. When they respond to something, that might be somebody they know and love they're responding to. It just really is. I mean, I have a tremendous amount of respect, so much more so now than even before, after interviewing these people and learning, hey, what is your worst day on the job? And it'll surprise you what they tell you. It's not how bad something is. It's the fact of were they able to save the day or not? You know, were they able to do their job or not?
Extraordinary people that we have working around us every day and probably don't even, like you said, take notice of it because it's so natural for them to be there. Where's the best place for people to buy the book? I mean, I know you can get it anywhere, but where's the best place? Where does it benefit you the most if people buy the book?
Hey, listen, I don't make any money off book sales. I've been paid already. I want these stories to be out there, so I really don't care where you get it.
Okay.
You know, they're on shelves at Walmart, and if you're in this local area, I'm going to go to some Walmarts and sign books and leave them there for the next person to buy. So that's a cool place. Otherwise, Amazon, anywhere you buy books.
All right, man. There you go.
Sounds good.
We appreciate you, Joey. It's always a pleasure, and you're welcome anytime.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Y'all be good. Joey Jones of Fox News Channel.
There he goes.
Yeah, man. He's a good dude. SNL found out that they can be funny. And how did they do it? They did a spoof of the Sydney Sweeney jeans ad. They're back. Could they be back? Could SNL be back? Maybe so. This would be a good example of yes, they are. Next on Extra.
The Morning Xtra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM.
Good morning, it's Los. Let's talk about True Prep. First off, when it comes to being ready for any situation, that's what True Prep specializes in. 1000 Cobb Parkway in Marietta. If you want to go to the store, for me, that's a really fun place to go check out. They've got everything when you're looking to get working when it comes to being prepared. Now, I know sometimes there's that negative connotation of like, prepper, what are you talking about? Listen, I've been through some crazy weather scenarios. I like to have freeze-dried food on occasion and have that on hand for when you never know what goes on. Might lose power for a few days, not a problem, can still feed the whole family. That's what I do. Then when it comes to other people out there, when you like being an outdoor enthusiast, you like getting out there, they've got all the equipment for you to do that safely and comfortably. That's the cool part. Or maybe you're making it a point. You want to own the right firearm for your own personal defense, whether it's in your home or when you're out and about. True Prep can handle that for you as well and get you linked up with the right firearm and the right ammo, all at great prices. And also, go check out the website, trueprep.com. That's truprep.com. They have an events and workshops area. That's where they can show you about classes they have coming up. And coming up on August 24th, they will have their third edition of their first-time gun buyers prep course. This is where they get you taken care of. They get you set up with the right firearm based on what you're looking for. They show you how to properly store it. They show you how to be safe with it. If you're somebody who's looking to add a firearm to your repertoire, hey, they can help you there. If you're looking to make sure that maybe the woman in your life, the daughter in your life, has the ability to defend herself, this is a great class for that. Go to truprep.com. That's truprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, August 11th. The Atlanta Braves end up taking 4 of 5 from the Miami Marlins and have now won 3 straight after a 7-1 victory yesterday afternoon. The Braves are off today before beginning a 6-game road trip, starting with a 3-game series in New York against the Mets beginning tomorrow. From the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons, they're back in action at training camp as of this morning, as the workouts are now back open and ready for the public over at Flowery Branch. Training camp practice today begins at 9:30 in the morning. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Need advice on getting things fixed up around the house? No matter how big or small that project is, we've got your answers. Listen to us on the All Four Seasons Home Show presented by the Trusted Toolbox. Join Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows, and me, Chris Lalamia, your favorite handyman from the Trusted Toolbox, as we tackle all the issues, fixes, and honeydew projects around your home. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. or grab the podcast anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage. We do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation supports America's greatest heroes, U.S. service members and first responders who die or catastrophically injured in the line of duty. Plus, the foundation helps homeless veterans. The heroes that Tunnel to Towers supports are heroes that we owe a debt of gratitude to. The foundation's Gold Star, Fallen First Responder, Smart Home, Homeless Veterans programs, all of these honor the sacrifices made for us by the men and women who risk their lives and bodies in our country and our community service. The Foundation's Never Forget program engaged people in 9/11 remembrances across America with over 80 runs, walks, climbs, and dozens of golf outings every year. The Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute helps educate children in kindergarten through 12th grade about America's darkest day while helping our nation keep its vow to never forget. Help support Tunnel to Towers and its programs and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifice of our country's greatest heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. T2T.org.
Get the latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South when you follow Extra 106.3 across all your social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Extra 106.3.
It only took a really pretty girl in a blue jean ad to help SNL find their funny again, Los.
Over the weekend, you had an ad for jeans. Now, I will just tell you this. While a lot of this is going to be visual, just know that this is a fake Levi's ad. Mm-hmm. And it's really about listening to what the advertisers, these are like, the various people they're showing, are saying. And when they start clapping their hands, because we've all seen it now on X, right? When it's like, why do you clap your hands as you're talking? It's like, clearly you're crazy. Take a listen as they have their own version of countering American Eagle, Levi Woke.
My jeans tell me I'm a man.
My jeans tell me I'm a woman.
They tell me I'm relaxed. That I'm skinny.
A child.
Yo, you don't know me, jeans. I'm not a style. I'm not a size. That's not me.
Introducing Levi Woke's sizeless, style-neutral, gender non-conforming denim for a generation that defies labels.
What's my size? Why don't you try asking me about my accomplishments? What colors do they come in? Colors? I'm triggered. This color. And you label this color?
That is the color grab.
They not brown, but they not brown. Let's talk pockets. Pockets sold separately. Yo, who says I have hands?
They come in men's and women's?
Nah. Do they come in person? That's why Woke's got Unifly.
180 degrees of gender non-conformity.
All the way around to the butt. Let me decide how I go to the bathroom. Through yours.
Dude, the Unifly was the moment where the home run was hit. Because I was like, what do you mean, like a Unifly? And it shows the zipper go all the way underneath the legs and all the way around to the backside.
Dude, it was unreal to see it. And it made me laugh a little bit, even just because last week when Neil Bortz came in, and Los gave him the best underwear ever.
Game undies.
Yeah, he thought it was great. I was like, is it awkward? And he's like, no, it's a home run.
It's like, these are great.
And the only issue that we saw in the Costco reviews were it didn't have a fly.
No flap.
And so when Levi's had the Unifly, I thought that was pretty funny.
Immediately, as they're showing them how they unzip it all the way to the backside. It's because, obviously you have to build a pair of pants that doesn't have a sexual identity.
Yeah, it works for everybody.
Because if it just has a zipper in the front, well, I mean, that might make the connotation that it's a man's pant, even though all pants have zippers
in the front. Exactly right. But SNL, maybe they found it a little bit. Another thing that kind of popped up this weekend was Charlie Kirk embracing his character on South Park, and it pissed so many libs off that they were venting because they're making fun of you. You must know they're making fun of you. So it was grand.
Charlie Kirk ends up posting onto his website, and it's again an homage to South Park. He has a shirt now that says Master Debater.
That's right. And it triggered the libs so bad.
And they're jumping all over social media to be like, you don't get it, Charlie Kirk. We're making fun of you. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's right. And that pissed him off even worse.
It's like when, I don't know who the caller was who called in to say what he was going to say. This is how I look at it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. We appreciate you listening.
I'm not paying attention to you. Clearly, you're paying attention to us. Thank you. So you will never understand those. And again, these are the people that post this stuff out on social media. The more you talk about Charlie Kirk, that's all he cares about.
That's right. No press is bad press.
You can say whatever you want to about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's like, are you talking about me?
Good.
Did you actually put me in an episode of South Park?
Great.
Awesome.
Good, great, grand.
Because the more you're thinking about Charlie Kirk or me, I'm winning. I'm good. Like, we're doing great here.
That's exactly right. So SNL got it right, and Charlie Kirk got it right. Just a bunch of wins all over the place, man. The W's keep falling like the rain.
The only thing you don't want in this business is to be forgettable.
That's right. Nobody talking
you
about
work in media, nobody talking about you, nobody talking about you.
That's trouble. That'll do it for us. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. 8779 Southern. SouthernExteriors.co. For Los and Dre, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now here.
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.